at the 33-yard line. And a look at the Chile starting lineup, the Texas A&M backs and receivers. Albert Connell, the wideout from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and a transfer from Trinity Valley Community College, #1 receiver with 18 catches on the year and 215 yards. And Calvin Collins leading a very strong line, the senior out of Beaumont, Texas, a 3-time Southwest Conference center and a former guard. Stewart to throw with a quick drop. Complete at the 34-yard line. That's Connell with his first catch of the day. They're about 4 yards short of a first down, though.
Boy, you look at this defense. It is strong. It is quick. And you talk about Russell right there in the middle, who's highlighted. Matt Russell, of course, Butkus Award finalist, very fast. But the entire defense is very, very physical, as always. And then you see the secondary. It, too, is quick. Ryan Black, as a matter of fact, is the leading tackler on the defense.
Ryan Black, the former walk-on, will hit you, too. 3rd and 4. Here comes Parker. Close to a first down, out to the 39-yard line. That's where he needed to get. Matt Russell, who you just mentioned, made the stop. And we'll see how close he is to a Texas A&M first down.
You saw Hall return a kickoff. You see Parker with his second carry, and he's very talented. They've got a pretty good bevy of backs when you think that Sir Parker, he has a career-high 116 yards last week against North Texas, and then Hall had 99 in his debut here at Kyle Field, and Eric Bernard. So it's a talented group of running backs, and they bring them up, and it's a good changeup.
I mean, two of the better offenses, too, not only in the Big 12, but in the country. And as you see, it is a Texas A&M first down.
A&M needs some early success. You look at this. 263 yards a game almost in rushing yards, and passing has been very strong. It's a balanced attack that they have. 38-point scoring, but then you look at the other side. Here's the confrontation. CU only gives up 75 rushing yards a game, just under 200 passing yards. So that's going to be very difficult for this A&M offense today.
The one-back set, Sir Parker in on 1st and 10, the ball at the 39-yard line. Here comes Parker to the near side. Bounces off one tackler, but then game tackled at the 38. He may have lost a yard.
Oh, Terry, there's a great indication of this Colorado defense we were talking about. They run to the football so well. He juked one tackler, but all of a sudden he had about 9 of those gold helmets surrounded him. They all run to the football once the runner is committed, once containment has been established.
A defense that takes a lot of chances. They're aggressive. They'll give up some big plays, but they make you beat them with big plays as well. And you look at what they've done, 4.8 snaps per possession, 3 of 16 times, and that's a heck of a stat for a defense at this point in the year. Flags on the play, and they will blow it dead. As Stewart went back to pass, and we'll see what I'll have from Tom Ehlers.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 5 yards, repeat second down.
R.C. Slocum in his 8th year here at Texas A&M, and he left the old Southwest Conference as one of the best winning percentage. And you look at what he's done here at Kyle Field, only 2 losses and 1 tie.
Always fun to visit with. He's intelligent, congenial, down-home guy that opens his door to everybody.
Rick Neuheisel in his 2nd year, former quarterback, and you saw an example of what Rick Neuheisel can come up with on the offense. The first play from scrimmage, a touchdown on the reverse. Here's Stewart to throw, and that's well covered, but he gets it to Parker. A lot of room and close to a first down at the 49. Mike Phillips, the outside linebacker from Marrero, Louisiana, wrapped him up, but a gain of 15.
Boy, I've got to tell you, it is well thrown. It was well covered, as you mentioned, but Brandon Stewart makes this play. Take a look at this now. It is a screen to the receiver right away, or the back right away. Brandon sees the defender, but sees his back turn. So he gets it out to Parker, who kind of delayed a step to make the catch, and then he just blew by everybody, including Greg Jones, who had him one-on-one.
Greg Jones was right there,
but had his back to the quarterback, couldn't read his eyes. That is a bad thing to do when you're on defense.
First down at midfield as Stewart changes the play.
If you're going to run with him like that, you've got to turn your head and swivel your shoulders.
Quick drop, complete to the 46 of Colorado. I believe that's Connell with his 2nd catch of the afternoon. Connell, a senior out of Fort Lauderdale, and guy had a career day last week. 9 catches for 166 yards and a couple of touchdowns against North Texas.
Yeah, I tell you what, he took a pretty good lick when he made that catch, too. Junior college transfer, had 44 catches last year, all-conference guy. 2 touchdown catches, as you mentioned last week, but he is an outstanding receiver. And I think the most impressive thing about him, Terry, his average is 14 yards every time he catches it.
2nd and 6. Spiller, the tight end, comes to the near side. You've got Hardiman and Parker in the backfield.
Colorado showing blitz.
The quick out. Here's Connell again, complete, and just tripped up at the 42-yard line. Nice job by Brandon Stewart to change that play. And the shoestring tackle by Steve Roska, the free safety. Well, Monday night on ABC, Annie Potts stars in the premiere of Dangerous Minds, based on the hit movie. And Deion Sanders and the Cowboys head to the city of brotherly love. They'll take on the Philadelphia Eagles, who are rolling right now. Big NFC East battle, ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. That's Monday live at 9 Eastern, right here on ABC.
It's a terrific drive by A&M. They've mixed their plays very well. Right now, Colorado's defense looks a little unsure of itself.
3rd and 1, they operate out of the I. Stewart will keep it. And fights his way across the 40. He should have a first down.
He got it. He got it by at least a yard. And again, a good call following Calvin Collins and Haimuli right up to the right side of the offensive line. Boy, that time they almost just challenged Matt Russell. It was like they said, here we come, straight ahead, no fair dodging, Matt.
Timmy, Brandon Stewart out of high school, Stephenville, Texas, now back in his home state, led one of the more successful offenses in high school history in terms of Texas football. And even though this is his first year starting at Texas A&M, so many expectations because he started high school here. Had a man open, but couldn't thread the seam, and it's incomplete. Connell, the intended receiver. Marcus Washington, the sophomore out of Colorado Springs, on the coverage.
I think we've got one of the most intriguing matchups of the day in all of college football here today with A&M and Colorado. And you're talking about Brandon Stewart from Stephenville, Texas. How about Coy Detmer? He also is from Texas. 2 of the most prolific passers ever to come out of high school football here in this state.
That's Father Sonny, one of the legendary coaches here in the state of Texas. And the first time that Coy is back playing in the state. 10th play of the drive now on 2nd and 10 from the 39. Parker, the lone back in the backfield. And they'll give it to him. Not much running room, though. He falls ahead for maybe 2. Ron Merkerson, a junior out of Las Vegas, made the stop. Interesting, the preparation for both of these teams, too. You've got Colorado with a week off after the loss to Michigan, and there was so much hype surrounding that game in Boulder, talking about it being a national championship game, national championship hopes. And what Rick Neuheisel did with the week off to prepare for this game, one of the things, working on cutting down on penalties.
Big 3rd down here.
The big throw, it's complete. Connell at the 24-yard line. They've got a first down. Torrey Elton Davis on the coverage, but he gave him a little too much cushion.
Boy, I'm going to tell you something. Colorado came with a safety blitz, and Sir Parker picked it up at the last second. Brandon Stewart felt it released early. That is a huge 3rd down play. Oh, but what a job by Stewart. Take a look at what takes place on the outside now. This is a receiver. He's going to try to draw him off. Connell comes back for the ball, but it's thrown inside. So all of a sudden, he's got to challenge Davis, the defensive back, and meet him there. Great concentration on his part, but again, set up because Stewart read the blitz and got rid of it in a hurry. 4th catch of the afternoon already for Albert Connell. And again, Stewart wants to change the play. First down at the 25, the straight drop. Now under pressure, and down he goes at the 27-yard line. Ryan Olson got him in the backfield. They apply the pressure up front, and that's what Colorado likes to do. Olson, a junior out of Lakewood, Colorado. Yeah, but look at number 16. This is the guy that is the leader back there. He's calling the defense. He's positioning guys. I mean, he's physically going up to Mau and just moving him over. I'm telling you, that is an outstanding linebacker, captain, leader, the guy that runs that defense and positions everybody.
Matt Russell, the son of an Air Force colonel, leading the show here on defense. 2nd and 12 after the sack. Parker, the lone back. Straight drop, a lot of time. To the end zone for Dante Hawkins. He made the catch, but he was out of bounds. The ball was there, and so was Hawkins, but just a little bit too far. Washington and Rozga on the coverage.
Colorado coming with a lot of blitz packages, and I think Stewart was a little bit antsy that time. He started to get happy feet back in the pocket, put a little bit too much on it. Hawkins almost made the catch, but had he made it, I'm not sure his feet would have been in bounds. Another long 3rd down situation for Texas A&M.
And now you have a good feeling that they are coming after you. 3rd and 12 at the 27. And here they come. Little jump pass out to Hardiman. Fighting his way, but down at the 22-yard line. They have to get to the 15 for a first down, so he's well short.
No, but it sets up a field goal opportunity. So the bottom line is Texas A&M, which gave up the early touchdown after the fumble, at least had a great drive, got it down. Now they want to get some points out of here. If they can get 3 points out of this and complete the field goal attempt, I'm telling you something, that is a pretty good effort, and it's a ball game again.
That's a 14-play drive, and now they will put the ball down at the 28-yard line for Kyle Bryant, who is 6 out of 6 on the year.
This could help the Aggies mentally.
A try of 38 yards. 7-0 Colorado. 7:34 left in the first, and the Buffaloes take over. Troy Detmer giving you the back for Shell Troutman straight ahead for a couple of yards on first down, but that is about it. And Troy Detmer, the senior out of Mission, Texas. You know about the torn ACL last year. He led the nation in passing efficiency at that point. And already on this season, almost 1,000 yards in the air, 6 touchdowns, and only 1 interception.
Ironically, it was this game last year, first quarter, against A&M, that Troy Detmer tore his knee up. ACL, missed the rest of the year.
2nd and 7, the straight drop by Detmer. A lot of time, he's going deep. And he's got his man. Down inside the 20 at the 19, Ray Caruth, who scored the touchdown, but there's a flag back at the 17-yard line.
It's going to be holding against Colorado, so forget all this celebration. That play is for naught. Holding up front against the Buffaloes. They'll bring this one back and penalize them.
Well, Rick Neuheisel ran the reverse on the first play from scrimmage on the last possession for a touchdown. Now they go up top for a huge play. A pass of 57 yards, but this one's called back.
You could bet they'll try that again, too. Caruth is the fastest guy. He's the big play guy. They love to throw him. He's a deep threat blur, hard to cover.
Holding on the offense, half the distance from the spot of the
That's what we were
foul.
talking about, the holding against Colorado.
Leading the nation, 102.7 yards per game in penalties. And something that Rick Neuheisel really worked on the 2 weeks leading up to this, had officials actually in practice calling penalties, and the team would run laps at the end of practice for each penalty.
All right, in the mental game now, A&M takes advantage and has them backed up.
They give to Troutman nowhere to run. Across the 10, maybe to the 11-yard line. And the Chili's starting lineups, the backs and receivers, the man that Timmy talked about early on, Phil Savoy, the 6'3" wideout from Washington, D.C., along with Ray Caruth. This may be, when you look at their wideouts, the best set of wideouts in the country. And the man up front who has a lot of responsibility on his shoulders, Adam Reed, taking over this year for Brian Stoltenberg, the transfer from Northwestern. Reed with a lot of pressure on him.
Terry, they've had some great receivers, Charles Johnson, Michael Westbrook, but this is a quality group right here.
3rd and 21. Detmer with the straight drop, complete out to the 20. James Kidd fighting his way, but short of a first down. Out to the 28, but at least they're by some punters some time and some space. The defensive front, as you look at the Texas A&M Aggies, Dat Nguyen, the inside linebacker, of course.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best, not one of the biggest, though.
No, and you look at the secondary, and this is a very quality secondary, too, but they're small. We talked about Donovan Greer only being 5'9". The rest of them all 5'9", 5'10" guys. So that's going to be a little bit of a mismatch. But I want to tell you, we showed you Nguyen. He's going to be fun to follow today. Dat Nguyen at linebacker very rarely gets blocked. He's all over the field.
Dante Hall back at his own 27-yard line, awaiting the punt of Andy Mitchell. First one in the afternoon for Mitchell. And up for the fair catch at the 32 is Hall, and that's where the Aggies will take over a punt in the first.
Terry, we were talking about the bevy of backs where Eric Bernard is the tailback now.
And here is Bernard, the play fake to him, and down goes Brandon Stewart at the 21. Nick Ziegler and Greg Jones, a couple of good defensive ends, got there at the same time.
Nick Ziegler having a few words with Brandon Stewart after it was all over, too. Better be careful with that. They've been bringing their outside guys, their defensive ends hard. Watch this. This is a good power move and then goes back to the inside. All the time in a defensive tackle, your two defensive ends will always leave the huddle and say, I'll meet you at the quarterback. Their responsibility, containment, get to the quarterback. We both get there at the same time. That's a big play.
Loss of 8 on the play, and they are now at the 25-yard line. Connell in motion to the near side. Here comes Bernard looking for room. Not a whole lot. Out to the 26. Matt Russell, we will call his name a lot this afternoon.
You know, when you've got a defense as fast as that of the Colorado Buffaloes, you really can't sit there and play around behind blockers. You've got to explode to the hole, make your commitment early, and just drive to it. Too much juking going on by the running backs of Texas A&M, and you can't do that. That buys time for the defense, not the running back. The block is released and the tackle is made, and you're losing yardage. You've got to explode through that hole right now.
See some of the scores from other games. UCLA-Michigan game should be a good one. 3rd down and 16 on the 26. Tiki Hardeman in the backfield, straight drop, quick throw, Connell's 5th catch. Across the 40, out to the 43, and he may have an Aggie first down.
Well, I tell you what, Connell, they respect his speed because they're playing him soft, and he drives them off and comes back to the ball, and Stewart's got a rifle. That's a pretty good combo. It's been working early in this game.
The gain of 17 and his 5th catch of the afternoon. He's been busy so far.
You remember James Street? Played for Texas, the national championship team in 1969.
Absolutely.
That's who Stewart reminds me of. He reminds me of James Street.
First down at the 44. Straight ahead and a big hole for Bernard. Across the 50 up and into Colorado territory at the 46-yard line.
Terry, you see the difference there? That time, no juking, just exploded through the hole. You can beat a quick defense when you do that. Well, you watch this time. Now he's not juking, looking for a hole. He's taking the ball and just commits early. Explodes to the hole. When you're playing a quick, fast defense, you've got to do that. Otherwise, you're not going to have a shot. Look at this. Holy, stop it right there. Look at this hole he's got. I mean, this is unbelievable.
2nd and 1 now at the 47. And ahead for the first down, Mark Royals. They'll move the chains once again as the Aggies continue to move it on the ground. Well, tomorrow night on ABC, an hour of America's Funniest Home Videos starts off your night, followed by a spectacular new episode of Lois and Clark. Then 90210's Jenny Garth and Melrose Place's Rob Estes star in the year's most scandalous movie, Loss of Innocence. That's all tomorrow night on ABC.
Terry, this is the 2nd drive in a row by A&M that has been fairly impressive.
Eric Bernard now the back. The only guy in the backfield on 1st and 10 from the 44. Quick throw to the outside, and he has met Connell. Caught that ball in the backfield and met right away by Marcus Washington, the cornerback.
Yeah, but that play was made a long time before that pass was thrown. That play was made in the film room earlier in the week. Marcus Washington, watching the eyes of the quarterback, saw Stewart square that direction and knew the play and immediately exploded to make the tackle and got there the same time as the football. Now, you watch this. He's locked on, and now his read is the quarterback. You watch his head. He's looking at the receiver. He's looking into the quarterback. He knows it's coming. Boom. Right up now. Makes a hit on Connell.
That's a great read and great anticipation. Bernard fighting his way ahead for a couple of yards. He should have lost a couple. Marcus Washington again made the tackle along with Dalton Simmons, the 2 cornerbacks.
Boy, that's impressive. Marcus Washington reading through that slot man, that other receiver, right into his guy, watching Stewart square and exploding, knowing the play.
Washington, the hero, the Cotton Bowl with the long interception return. Broke up 5 passes against Michigan. That tied a Colorado record a couple of weeks ago. A couple of good corners. Ian Simmons.
Well, Marcus Washington's big, too. You know, he's over 210 pounds. He's in the mold of a Kenny Wilkins.
3 receivers set. Hardeman, the lone setback. And here they come. And down goes Stewart. On the blitz, Washington again. Fred Jones was there as well, the defensive end. And a look at some of the pressure that the Buffaloes bring. So it brings up 4th and 13 for the Aggies. And Shane Leckler, the backup quarterback, and punter, the redshirt freshman, on for his first effort of the afternoon. And Nunez back deep. He waits at his own 10-yard line. And a fair catch right after 10. 37-yard punt. And Colorado Colorado will take over at the 10. Recreation Center, what a great building. Cost $36 million to build. We were over there yesterday. The weight and fitness rooms, a gymnasium, running track, competitive swimming venue, and one of the more unique features, the state-of-the-art indoor climbing wall, which Tim Brandt did not tackle yesterday.
Hey, you know what's amazing? This is only the 5th offensive play by Colorado this afternoon, and A&M's had 22 of them.
First down at the 10, Herschel Troutman straight up the middle and out to the 14-yard line. Not much room to run. Let's go down. And remind you that at the conclusion of today's game, we will select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game from each team. To date, Chevrolet has awarded nearly $6 million to scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities.
You know, if you're just joining us and you're saying, hey, Colorado 7, Texas A&M nothing, you think, hey, they're dominating this game. But so far, it's been all A&M other than the fumble and the kickoff, which set up the first touchdown for Colorado.
2nd and 6. Detmer to the air and incomplete. To avoid the intended receiver. Let's go down for the first time to our third member of our crew, Lewis Johnson. Lewis, what do you have?
Terry, thanks a lot. Listen, I've got to tell you about my pregame activities. Just before the game started, I sort of found a corner there in R.C. Slocum's locker room. He told his players, particularly the Wrecking Crew defense, to remember that this was their field. And to reemphasize that, he brought in Ray Childress, who was a great defensive end here, defensive tackle years ago, a great Oiler. And he told these guys, hey, it's no sin to get blocked, but it is a sin to stay blocked. They're having some troubles, guys.
3rd and 6. Detmer to the air. He's got Carruth open at the 39, and what a catch. Ray Carruth, who's had a huge day already today. Toya Jones, the free safety on the coverage, but a gain of 25.
You know, Jones didn't have bad coverage on this. What he did is he gave way at the very end and made it soft and had to make up time. There's a good little pump. I'm not sure that was on purpose by Detmer, but see him making up time here. Here's Jones. He almost, by not wrapping his arms, gave Cannell a chance, or Carruth rather, a chance to get away. You know, had Carruth been able to keep his feet there, he was gone.
He may have been. A lot of weapons on this offense. Savoy, Carruth, Anderson, who was suspended last week, and Kidd and Herschel Troutman can't get outside. We take you to New York to see what's up with Nebraska. John Saunders, what's going on?
Well, Terry, as you know, Colorado and Nebraska are headed for a showdown later this season. Nebraska just trying to bounce back from their loss to Arizona State, facing Colorado State today. This is quarterback Scott Frost going in on the option. 65-9 the final. Terry.
Wow. Scott Frost has taken a lot of heat, too, for their loss. But Nebraska back to normality. And the final seconds of the first quarter have ticked off the clock. It'll be 2nd and 8 for Colorado when we come back. The Buffaloes lead it 7-0. But you've got 2 flags laying at the 34-yard line.
All right.
And they'll talk it over. Holding against the Buffalo, so that will back them up. And again, you know, both teams playing true to what's happened so far this year. The turnovers by Texas A&M, the penalties for Colorado.
You know what's funny? By the offense, 10 yards from the end of the run, repeat first down.
What's funny is that flags came from almost every angle. So you would think there'd be no question in the call, and yet they still had to huddle and discuss it and talk about it, and then finally they said, all right, well, that's what we'll call.
You got to make sure, Tim.
Yeah.
Rick Neuheisel, the 35-year-old with a law degree. And you know all about his unusual coaching techniques, playing the guitar, the golf tournament for the football team, the shooting, the skiing, the bowling, the jet skiing. But the man can coach. He knows football, and that's the reason he led them last year to a 10-2 season. 1st and 19 at the 49 of Colorado. Under pressure, Detmer out to Troutman with a lot of room. Up the far sideline, cutting back to the inside. He has got a clear lane to the end zone. Touchdown, Colorado. Herschel Troutman, 50 yards to the end zone.
What a well-designed play. Do you remember the formation we showed you at the beginning of the telecast? That's what this was. You had Savoy to the left, and he was all out there one-on-one. But instead, Texas A&M know they're concerned about that. They come back and they're saying, all right, we'll go back to a screen to the strong side, which they did. And then, of course, the great cutback by Trotman and
plays by the Colorado offense. Little squibber down to the 27. A seam straight ahead out to the 46-yard line. So good field position after the squib kick. Michael Williams, backup running back, brought that back out. Good place for Texas A&M to start. It's an offense today that's been able to get it going on the ground. A couple of drives. Stewart has thrown the ball well. He's 8 out of 10 for 60 yards so far. But the 38-yard field goal try by Kyle Bryant on their first drive was wide left. And no points yet on the board for the Aggies. Hardeman and Parker with the offset eye. And someone jumped.
boy, Terry, what a great play by Brandon Stewart. He saw Greg Jones jump off sides and immediately went to a knee so that they would catch him in the neutral zone.
Well, we have a moment next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern. Great lineup of college football. Number 3 Penn State taking on Ohio State. A great matchup there. Nebraska coming back with a big win today, 65 points. They'll be at Manhattan, Kansas, a tough place to play. California against USC and Virginia and Georgia Tech. Check your local listings for the game on your ABC station. And the game's available from your local cable operator on pay-per-view. And I will be at Georgia Tech, Virginia with a big game, of course, tonight on ESPN against Texas. So Parker fighting his way for maybe 2 yards. Hannibal Davies, a sophomore out of El Cerrito, California, made the stop. You see what Nebraska did, 65 points today.
Talking about that Virginia-Texas game tonight, that is homecoming for Virginia. You have to question, why would they schedule Texas for homecoming?
There is the possibility of a loss, at least. But
that's what we're talking about right there, that game tonight. And of course, the Cavaliers really haven't had great success on homecoming.
Well, and everybody remembers what they did to the Seminoles last year. First loss in the ACC for Florida State. Here's the quick throw outside to the 40-yard line. Albert Connell fighting his way finally down, but what a huge afternoon he's had already. 6 catches on the afternoon.
Ron Mickerson threw him down to the ground. The crowd wanted roughing, but I think that's a good no call. What a talented receiver Connell is, huh? I mean, he is an outstanding receiver, averages 14 yards every time he makes a catch. He's one of those kids out of Fort Lauderdale that found his way here to Texas, but 18 catches already coming into this game, and he's having a big day this afternoon, junior college transfer.
He got 7 catches on the afternoon. Albert Connell, first Aggie wide receiver in 10 years to be all-conference. That was last year. First down from the 39-yard line. Little roll for Stewart to throw it right off the pads of the intended receiver, Dante Hawkins. Ryan Black on the coverage, but the old story used the hands, not the chest. And it brings up 2nd and 10 from the 39-yard line as Hawkins trots off the field.
Too many 2nd and long and 3rd and long situations for the A&M offense, which puts Stewart in a really tough spot.
Dante Hall, the freshman, now in the backfield. And he wears Leland McElroy's old number 34, which has to say something. They love him here. Stewart to the air. Complete at the 30, inside the 30, and knocked out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
Aaron Oliver with a great catch, and then after he made the catch, decided to take on the tackler. Took on the tackler and actually threw him out of bounds and picked up another 5 yards.
Oliver back in action. Of course, the son of former major leaguer Al Oliver, played for the Pirates and the Rangers, and he has been out. It's been out for a few weeks, and we did not expect to see him in here. A gain of 12 though. First down at the 27-yard line. Dante Hall over the right side. Tough going down to about the 23-yard line. Ryan Black, the strong safety, and the junior out of Phoenix, made the tackle. And this guy is a tough customer, the former walk-on. He will hit you and hit you hard.
Well, I tell you what, he's a talent too. 5'10", 190 pounds, leading tackler. He was in on 23 tackles against Michigan, as you were talking about earlier. And the best part about him is he's very smart. He reads things. He studies before the ball game, knows tendencies.
See some of the baseball scores. The Rangers clinching their first AL West title. A lot of excitement around here last night. Now, ball is on the ground. Colorado thinks they have it. At the 29-yard line, we'll have to wait for the pile to separate, and the Buffaloes have the football.
Do you believe it? Looked like Hardeman got there in time to get the fumble, but Colorado comes up with it, and the fans just shaking their heads. This has really been a nemesis for the Aggies all year. R.C. Slocum has got to be really, really upset with this.
Well, you can't continue to do this against good teams. The 2 losses at the beginning of the year, the 8 turnovers of Southwestern Louisiana. So you play Colorado, you've got no shot at winning if you're going to turn the ball over like this.
Ball gets stripped. Hardeman gets there, number 20, but look at this. Jarney comes in, and Jarney just takes it away from him. That's just strength.
Lendon Henry now in the backfield for Colorado. On first down at the 30, here comes Henry. Bouncing outside out to the 34-yard line. And the junior out of Port Arthur, Texas, and second leading rusher on the year with 175 yards and 3 touchdowns coming into the game. And there's a flag down.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5 yards. Repeat first down.
4th penalty of the afternoon for Colorado for 36 yards. And don't forget, a primetime battle tonight. Not a conference rivalry. The Longhorns of Texas travel to Charlottesville to take on Virginia. Live college football tonight at 7:30, only on ESPN.
Look at Rick Neuheisel. The penalties have really been a problem. You mentioned the 4th one here today. They had 99 yards in penalties against Michigan. So Neuheisel brought in officials to practice, had officials actually working with them in practice.
The run to Henry straight ahead up to the 34-yard line. So they don't go to the pass on 1st and 15. And it'll bring up 2nd and about 7 after the gain of 9. Warwick Holman on the tackle. One of the big play men for this defense. 2nd leading tackler with 18 on the year coming into this game.
Well, the defense better strap it on now because they're looking at the 9th best passing offense in the country. And it's an offense that doesn't respect the A&M secondary. He's had some big plays today, and I guarantee you they know they can get big plays in the pass.
The play action on the roll is Detmer. He does this well, tipped up in the air and out of bounds. Incomplete. Savoy, the intended receiver, but he couldn't hold on.
Toya Jones knocked him loose. Horn came up with it out of bounds, but that ball should have been caught. Savoy has been able to make a lot of catches. He came into this game with 15 catches for the year, but he also has dropped several passes that he should have caught, and that's one of them. Look at him. He's saying, that's my bad, my bad. See him pointing to himself? Well, I should have had it.
The number of receivers you got on this team, you figure you drop one, play may not come back to you for a little bit. You want to blow those chances. 3rd down and 6 at the 34 now. The quick out. Here's Savoy, came right back to him, fighting his way up to the 40-yard line. He had to get to the 40 for the first down. Shun Horn made the stop. We'll have to wait and see if it's enough.
Oh, he got a great mark. He got a great mark. It's going to be awfully close. I think he's going to be just short. But that'll bring up 4th and just inches, so I'm anxious to see if Colorado goes for it here. They're up at the 40.
Had to get to the 40. And that ball is either maybe an inch or two short or just on the marker. It is close.
They didn't stay away from him very long. He dropped the pass. They came right back to him. Just missed the first. I'd go for it here. You're up 14-0. You're up near midfield. You're up at the 40. I'd go for it.
Decision time for Rick Neuheisel. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Well, listen to this crowd here in College Station.
Well, you want it. You've got an outstanding offense going against the Wrecking Crew, a school that's noted for its defense. Line them up fair and straight ahead. Let's just go after it.
R.C. Slocum's club only losing 2 times here in his tenure. Colorado's been one of the best teams playing on the road in the 90s.
Now, if you're on defense, you've got to show a lot of discipline because they may try to get a long count and try to pull you off and get the first down that way.
Miller's the fullback. He comes in on short yardage situation. 4th and inches.
He's trying to draw him off.
And it doesn't work, but that's exactly what Rick Neuheisel wanted to do. Just draw the offside. So they don't go for it on 4th down. They'll be punting when we come back. Colorado leading by a couple low 70s. Colorado worried about the heat coming down here to play. Working all week long in Boulder. But nothing to worry about because you got a breeze, low 70s, and it's gorgeous. Andy Mitchell on for the punt. Dante Hall back at his own 24-yard line. Short kick down at the 33 and takes a Texas A&M bounce back out to the 35-yard line. So the punt over only 26 yards by Andy Mitchell. And while we have a moment, let's go down to Lewis Johnson.
Terry, thanks. You know, we tell a lot of fun stories, a lot of crazy stories down here on the sideline, but this one has a real serious nature to it. It's about a Colorado defensive end by the name of Tyrone Bussey. He is not here today, and all of his teammates wish that he was. Back in 1994, Tyrone was diagnosed with leukemia, went through chemotherapy, had the bone marrow transplant, told it was beat. Well, this past season, he was getting ready, hoping to play, went to brush his teeth one afternoon, and his gums were bleeding again, which indicated that the leukemia was back. He is in a Detroit hospital right now. He's going to join us on the phone after this play. Terry?
All right, Lewis, first down at the 36. Stewart to throw. Got his favorite receiver again. Connell with a lot of room up the near sideline. Inside the 20 and down to the 19. The big play for Albert Connell on first down and a gain of 36.
His 8th catch of the afternoon. They're going to him quite often. He's finding that they're playing soft on him. He drives them off, comes back. This is a great reception on his part, but look at the juke. Now watch the speed. He has tremendous speed. As a matter of fact, they say he runs a 4.440. Once he got to the open, then the pursuit angle is what finally caught him. Otherwise, he was taking this one all the way to the end zone. But look at this. Great speed, great breakaway, but it was coming back for the ball that made the play work.
8 catches for 92 yards. Tiki Hardeman down to about the 13. Let's go down to Lewis Johnson.
Tyrone, this is Lewis Johnson down on the sideline. Are you there?
Oh, yeah. I'm still here.
Great. How are you this afternoon?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm hoping, wishing I was there with my team.
I imagine you are. Tell us how you've been feeling the last couple of days. Are you feeling better today?
Well, I got a little stomach pain still.
Yeah, we heard about that. Your mom says it gets a little tough on the weekends because you wish you were out here at the ball game.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Tyrone. What about your Buffaloes? Right now, they're up 14-0 over Texas A&M here at Kyle Field, which is a big deal. Tyrone?
They need to keep on pushing and bring it on home.
Well, I tell you what, it's a tough thing out here. The Buffaloes are expecting to come down here in some hot weather, but it's been rather cool, sort of like the Colorado weather. Let me pass on a couple of messages to you, Tyrone. First of all, from ABC Sports, we want you to know that our prayers are with you and your recovery. We hope you get better. And I talked to Coach Neuheisel before the game. He told me to tell you that don't forget that the guys are thinking about you. First of all, get well. Remember, number 56 is on the back of all those helmets, and he wishes you Godspeed. Hopes to see you back here soon.
Oh, yeah, I'll be out there soon.
All right, Tyrone. Take care, Tiger.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Terry?
All right, Lewis. Stewart to throw. Sir Parker out of the backfield, fighting his way down to the goal line. He gets in. Touchdown, Texas A&M. The swing pass out of the backfield and a touchdown, 13 yards from Stewart to Sir Parker, and the Aggies are on the board.
Connell has been stretching the defense with the deep passes. Now they look at that, they run the secondary off and just throw underneath of it. It's very unusual to see Matt Russell, who has coverage on that play, miss a tackle and come out there late, but that's exactly what happened. Parker beat the middle linebacker to the flat and scored.
Third touchdown of the year for Sir Parker. And an important one here in the second quarter. Kyle Bryant on for the extra point. puts it through the uprights.
Tradition that is.
You get to kiss your dates after a touchdown if the Aggies score. 14-7, Colorado. Kyle Bryant's kickoff. And this one out of the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. The Buffaloes will start there. What's going on with Penn State? John Saunders, what do you have?
Well, Joe Paterno, since entering the Big Ten, has not beaten Wisconsin, but Curtis Enos helping him on his way on this one from 7 yards out, his second touchdown of the game. Penn State leading Wisconsin 17-3. Terry.
Thank you, John. Penn State, Ohio State next week as well.
Enos, talented young back.
Well, the crowd into this one now. It was 14-0, but the touchdown by Sir Parker has brought the Aggies within a touchdown. Lendon Henry on first down, fighting his way out to the 24, maybe the 25-yard line. They've got quiet here for a while towards the end of that first quarter. Dat Wynn, the inside linebacker, made the stop.
Interesting how things change ball games. Connell making all those catches for A&M, stretching the defense, driving them off 15, 16, 20 yards, and all of a sudden, then they come back to Sir Parker, a little screen pass, and he scores, puts A&M back in this ball game. Well, there's a look at Wynn. We'll follow him. What a great player.
Detmer out to his tight end. That's Matt Lepsit. And a first down for Colorado across the 30, out to the 33-yard line. And after that first down from the Buffaloes, we will take this time for this week's Marriott moment. It was just a year ago when Coy Detmer was injured and out of the game. Backup quarterback John Hessler rallied Colorado after running for 2 touchdowns. Hessler connected with Hennison McCarty on his 20-yard circus catch, giving the Buffaloes the lead and eventually a 29-21 victory over Texas A&M. Back live, Lendon Henry, a good gain on first down out to the 37-yard line. And Colorado now starting to do some work on the ground.
Yeah, but Coy Detmer, you're right. He's starting to do some work on the ground. He's mixed things up so well that now the running game's starting to click a little bit. You know that Detmer has 5 completions, and he's hit 5 different receivers. And so he's spreading the wealth a little bit. And now when that success takes place, now the running game starts to work.
And Timmy, you remember the 57-yard pass to Ray Caruth, called back because of a holding penalty. But you're talking about a lot of success early on offensively. This one out to Phil Savoy. Working outside, gets a block, and out to the 43-yard line. Good gain, close to a first down, but just a little bit short. Get an update on the Michigan Wolverines. John Saunders in New York.
Terry, the Wolverines hosting UCLA, and Scott Dreisbach, watch Clarence Williams sneak out of the backfield. Dreisbach just tosses to his left, wide open. Then it's a foot race. No one can catch Williams, gets the touchdown, and the Wolverines right now have the lead 7-0. Terry.
And that's as easy as it gets. Timmy could have run that one in.
Yesterday, maybe.
Back in his days with the Terrapins. 3rd and 1. Kristen Henry, and here comes the option. They're going to throw out of it. Detmer wide open. Complete. Inside the 15 to the 14. Ray Caruth, he was wide open. No one within 15 yards of him.
I want to tell you something. Greer saved a touchdown, but that was amazing how Caruth got open. Now they scored on an option reversed early on. Now watch this. This is Caruth. They're running the option. He slides between the safety and the corner. Now look, there's got to, stop it right there. There's got to be over 10 yards between these two guys. Now watch the ground. Go ahead and roll it. Watch the ground that Greer makes up here. First, Caruth has to wait for the ball, but look at this. Finally saves a touchdown. He was beaten early, came back, and made the stop inside the 15.
Gain of 44. Caruth now the 4th leading receiver in Colorado history. And on first down, Lendon Henry to the 13-yard line. Brandon Jennings, the free safety, made the tackle. Now, big plays a part of this Colorado offense. One called back earlier to Ray Caruth. Now, that one successful. You look at Florida State. That's a good one going on. 3-0. 2 great defenses. North Carolina and Florida State. Ohio State. And Notre Dame. 2nd and 10 at the 13. Henry the lone back. They throw to the near side. Savoy has it down to the 5-yard line. Has to get to the 3. as Colorado can get another first down.
Terry, this is the formation we were talking about in the pregame, where they had 2 receivers to the top of the screen. They only had 1 down low. That's Savoy, and again, it's the mismatch. Savoy is 6'3". He was going this time against Horn, who's only 5'10". So there's a little bit of a mismatch there. So Colorado went to it, didn't get the touchdown, but they did move it down inside. Look at this. They spread you across the field. Here's Twins up to the top. Down the bottom, of course, is Savoy. They spread you thin. They create space. Then they let the mismatch go.
3rd and 1. Keith Miller, the fullback, in there. And someone jumped on the left side of the Colorado offensive line. Looked like Andrew Wells. 3rd and 6. Detmer. A lot of time to the end zone. Caught in the end zone for a touchdown. Darren Cheverini, the sophomore out of Corona, California, with a terrific catch between defenders.
Boy, it's unbelievable how well Rick Neuheisel will take his offense and spread it from sideline to sideline. Now, when that happens, look at the defense, how spread out the defense is. There's all kinds of space. Now, go ahead and roll it, and you'll see now there's double coverage in the end zone on the inside receiver. But look to the right of your screen. Savoy's wide open, but instead, Detmer still goes to double coverage, just throws a perfect pass for the touchdown.
Donovan Greer and Rich Cody had him blanketed, but a perfect throw from Detmer. And a heck of a catch by Cheverini.
Detmer actually went to the wrong receiver, still had a touchdown. Savoy wide open, touchdown in the corner in double coverage.
It's called talent. Out of Corona, California, now comes in the touchdown catch. A lot of weapons on this Buffalo offense.
Yeah, they're loaded. Defensive coordinator Phil Bennett was telling us yesterday he was well aware of that. He just had to take some chances and then hope for the best, and he's been doing that and doing a pretty good job. You know, it's interesting. You and I were talking before the game. We saw a little article, a letter to the editor in the Buffalo, and about the Colorado team. They were talking about Cheverini being a Heisman Trophy candidate down the road if he put on 10 pounds and continued to even get better. I mean, Charrington, and here he is. He comes up big.
Got some youngsters, part of the future of this Colorado offense. Aaron Cheverini, Wayne Charrington, a backup tailback as well. Leslie's kick. Eric Bernard. Nowhere to go at the 17-yard line. Good coverage by the Buffaloes. And don't forget, coming up, and Brandon Stewart trying to get something going offensively. They've moved the football. Stewart, 12 out of 16 for 139 yards and a touchdown. And Albert Connell, a huge day already in the first half. 8 catches, 92 yards, but just 1 touchdown on the board. Stewart gives to his tailback, Sir Parker, a good surge ahead to about the 23-yard line.
You know, Terry, you're talking about the offense for Colorado and how you prepare for them defensively. And, you know, you make the point about how deep they are, and that's why we say Cheverini, and then we talk about Charrington. These are all the young guys that are not even playing that much that everybody's talking about already. And they're talking about terms of Heisman and Lombardi and Butkus Awards. It's phenomenal the depth they have.
Difference between good teams, great teams a lot of times. Everybody talks about Florida State and the depth sets them apart from the other ACC teams. Sir Parker a couple of yards ahead. And for another update on the Wolverines, let's go to New York and John Saunders again. John?
Terry, facing UCLA, Chris Howard, watch him take the handoff right through the line of scrimmage without being touched, and then down the sidelines, 31 yards for the touchdown. Michigan now up by 2 touchdowns, 14-0. Terry.
The big house rocking, no doubt. 21-7 here at Colorado. Ahead, Eric Bernard, the tailback, gets the call again. Falls ahead for maybe 2. Has to get to the 28-yard line for a Texas A&M first down. And you run the danger once again. There's still 4:07 counting until halftime. Colorado getting the ball back. A quick strike and scoring again.
Well, the fans aren't going to like it, but Texas A&M, although just a yard short on 4th, will have to punt it out of there.
Shane Leckler on to punt, the redshirt freshman from East Bernard, Texas, East Bernard High School. Ryan Nunez back deep for the Buffalo. He's going to watch this one bounce inside the 30 down to about the 26-yard line, and that's where Colorado will start this series. A punt of 48 yards from Leckler. And a year ago, a good one. The defense, a big part of the game in the matchup between these two, as it always is. Both explosive defenses, but you know, Texas A&M's defense, long known as the wrecking crew for its dominance. You know the last time Texas A&M led the nation in total defense?
Yeah, I know that answer.
Well, just hold on to that. We'll give you the answer in the third quarter. You can whisper it to me during the commercial. R.C. Slocum right now trying to figure a way for his wrecking crew defense to stop Colorado. Boyd Detmer has been terrific so far. So have the wideouts. Ray Caruth has been terrific. London Henry with a carry this time. That's one way to do it. Wrap up the ball carrier in the backfield. Pat Williams, the defensive end out of Monroe, Louisiana, got there first. And Henry may have lost a couple on the play. Now, Pat Williams, 6'4", 275, and a senior. This is a good defensive front for Texas A&M. Brandon Mitchell, the All-American from a year ago, the senior out of Abbeville, Louisiana, on the left side. And, of course, Keith Mitchell comes up, the quick outside linebacker. He'll play on the line as well. A lot of speed on this defense for the Aggies. 2nd and 12. Here they come after Detmer. Gets away, but there's a flag down, and Detmer gets the ball off before he falls out of bounds. It's incomplete. And another flag as Detmer throws it away. Good 20 to 30 yards on the sideline.
The second flag is going to be for intentional grounding. He knew he was going down. He was going out of bounds and just tried to throw it away.
I'm not sure how he got that ball away, to be honest with you. He kind of sidearmed it. And it's going to be costly for Colorado.
The intended receiver was Savoy.
Well, it may as well have been a friend in the 20th row. That's where the ball ended up.
So it's holding against Colorado. It's intentional grounding against Colorado. Loss of down against Colorado. And they'll back him up. Savoy did everything he could to. He was dragging across the middle, and when he saw Detmer in trouble, actually broke his pattern and went back outside, but Detmer had too much pressure.
Holding on the offense, decline, intentional grounding on the offense, and the accepted penalty and loss of down will be half the distance to the goal.
So the 6th penalty of the afternoon for the Buffaloes, and this will back them up inside the 5-yard line.
All right, so it brings up 3rd down and a taxi ride for Colorado. Defensively, you've got to think now, we've got to keep them backed up. We still have enough time in this quarter, 2:37, to get the ball back in good field position and score and tie this thing up. But right now, it's up, or not tie it up, but get back close within 2 touchdowns. Right now, it's up to the defense.
Miller and Henry in the backfield. Here comes London Henry to the near side. Has a block and a lot of room. Out to the 19-yard line. Huge game for Colorado, and that certainly gives them some breathing room.
Yeah, there's no question, and that takes away the good field position that A&M was hoping to get out of the punt.
Brandon Jennings, the freshman out of Houston, made the stop. And if he didn't make the stop, actually, Henry had a lot of running room. A gain of 17 as it is. So it brings up 4th down, but now the ball at the 20-yard line. Big difference between the 3 and the 20.
Almost looks like A&M has a punt block on.
Nick Peace now in to punt. Andy Mitchell, a normal punter, stands at his own 5-yard line. And Dante Hall back at his own 45. We'll see what A&M wants to do here. Not much pressure at all. And a short punt, fair catch. Hall gets out of the way. This one takes a Colorado bounce and down to the 42-yard line. And for an update on what's coming up at halftime, let's go to John Saunders again.
Coming up on Valvoline Halftime 96, we'll have all the day's scores and highlights. Plus, we'll be joined by Todd Blackledge at the Ledge as he breaks down a game most of you probably didn't see. Last week's upset, Arizona State knocking off Nebraska. It's all coming up on Valvoline Halftime 96.
All right, John, thanks. You know, 2 mistakes by Texas A&M on that last punt, Terry. First of all, they put the punt block on because Colorado's had trouble. Never did get any pressure. Then they let the ball hit the ground, and by rolling, they pick up, Colorado does, back Texas A&M another 10 yards.
All the freshmen back returning kicks for A&M. First down, Stewart to throw. Got a man complete at the 45 of Colorado. Guess who? Albert Connell. A gain of 12. And that's a connection that you will hear often throughout the year. Stewart to Connell.
That's his 12th catch of the game. Now, you want to know what kind of respect you get when you start making that many catches? They just back off. They're playing him so soft. Look at this. First of all, they're 10 yards off the ball. Now they start to run with him. They keep going when he stops. I mean, they are respecting him, so afraid that he's going to turn this thing and fly on him vertically and go deep.
Knew exactly where the marker was, too. He got a yard past the marker, made the catch, forward progress, and they moved the chain. A minute 11 and counting. Out of the shotgun now is Stewart. A lot of time, but flags on the play. This one incomplete. The intended receiver, Dante Hawkins. Torrey Elton Davis on the coverage. Let's go up one more time to John Saunders and get another update. John?
Terry, North Carolina's Dre Bly intercepts Thad Busby, but then coughs it up on a fumble. It helps set up the Seminoles. Warwick Dunn from 11 yards out, their first touchdown. They have struggled on offense. It's now 10-0. Terry.
John, Dre Bly had 3 interceptions last week, so he gets his 4th in 2 games.
On the offense, decline, second down.
So the penalty declined here. But a good one going on with Florida State, North Carolina, 2 top defenses in the country. And you think that if anyone in the ACC is going to give them a run this year, it will be North Carolina. But second down and 10, just over a minute left here in the first half. Shotgun again for Stewart. Over the middle, complete. That's Oliver near a first down at the 35-yard line. Marcus Washington, the cornerback, on the coverage and the tackle.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brandon Stewart has such a great command of this offense now. They said that he was starting to pick things up. They were giving him more and more every week, but he's reading defense as well. He's throwing. Now he's in rhythm. That ball was perfectly thrown. One of the top high school prospects in the nation in 1994. Top prospect, certainly in the West. His team was 16-0. This is a guy that was shot in the back as a boy. Did you ever hear that story?
Yep.
As a little boy, he was out in the fields playing, and one of his friends accidentally shot him in the back. He walked all the way home and said, "Hey, Mom, I've been shot. Can you take me to the hospital?" He was, and he's fine.
And told his mother he was going to be fine. He just needed to get to the hospital.
Yeah.
It was she who was upset, obviously. Tough kid, had the battle with Peyton Manning, of course. In his first year at Tennessee, decided that he was not going to get a shot there. Peyton Manning, obviously one of the favorites for the Heisman Trophy this year, but good spot for him here at Texas A&M. On the roll this time. He's got Connell complete, and he stepped out of bounds at the 28-yard line.
Made the catch first, but he was dangerously close even before he made the catch to that sideline. Boy, again, that ball was well thrown. It was almost picked off. I mean, he has a gun. He had to get it out there quickly because they get a good break on the ball. Now watch this. Now watch his feet. I thought he was close to that line. He is awfully close to that line. May have been on that line.
Difference between the toe and the heel.
Only need 1 foot in college football.
Down goes Stewart. The sack by Ryan Olson, the junior out of Lakewood, Colorado. He leads this team in sacks, and that's a big one because now they have to burn a timeout. 26 seconds left until the half.
It's a good timeout, though. Let's get over to RC. Let's start talking about what we have time-wise and how best utilize that time, how we can become the curator of that clock. They obviously want to get to the sidelines unless they see something in the zone or to see him across the middle.
And a 2nd and 6 coming up at the 31-yard line. And 26 seconds left in the first half. Next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, great lineup of regional action. A matchup between number 3, number 4, Penn State, Ohio State, a great one. Nebraska, 65 points on the board today in a win against Kansas State. Big 12 matchup there. Cal taking on Southern California, the number 15 team in the nation, and Virginia and Georgia Tech. Virginia with a big matchup against Texas tonight on ESPN. But those are at 3:30 Eastern next Saturday. Check the local listings for the game in your area, and the game's available on pay-per-view. So back on the field after the timeout, a conversation with R.C. Slocum. And 2nd down and 6 out of the shotgun again. The throw to the end zone through the hands. Connell was there, but so was Steve Roska, the free safety who played it very well.
Yeah, but I think he waited too long to deliver this ball. Take a look at the Twins, 2 receivers at the top. They're using inside out. Now look how open he is, but he waits too long and allows the safety to come over. Once Roska gets over there, number 15, the safety, that ball is then very difficult to catch because Roska gets up in front of him and gets in his line of view. But he was open between the corner and the safety for just that split second.
So it's field goal time for the Aggies. Kyle Bryant comes on, and Colorado takes the timeout. It'll be a 48-yard try when they return to the field.
20 seconds still left, so defensively you've got to be aware of the fake since there's still time left in A&M with 2 timeouts left. And I'm sure that's what they're telling him right now. Now be aware of the fake. Make sure he kicks the ball. He's already missed 1 today. Make sure they don't get salty on us and send somebody out for a pass.
R.C. Slocum, 2nd best winning percentage in all of college football in terms of active coaches, right behind Tom Osborne. And every year at A&M in the top 20, top 10, 3 of the last 4 years. And Kyle Bryant on for the 48-yard try is long this year, 47 yards. He missed a 38-yarder earlier in the game. Could have made the score 7-3 at that point. Bill Johnston, number 47, the holder. With 20 seconds left here in the first half. From 48 yards, and it hits the crossbar and bounces back. Raleigh kicked it 47.5.
In golfing terms, he hit it just
no return. And Texas A&M will kind of start to get something going here for this crowd of over 70,000.
That's a pretty good start right there defensively. I mean, they came up and let Colorado know that they aren't out of this thing yet. I mean, they made some pretty good licks. That last hit by Cody, he just tattooed it. You do that, that'll set the mental stage for what's going to take place here in the second half.
Well, the Texas A&M offense in the first half only 26 yards rushing, almost 170 in the air, but the 2 turns now. And the record for an A&M receiver, 13. That was 31 years ago, Ken McClain against Texas. So he is well on his way to breaking that record.
Yeah, he'll break that record before this day is over because it's obvious when they put in the game plan, they made Connell the focal point. Stewart's looking for him on almost every passing down.
Good year last year, but an even better one against Colorado already. 2nd and 1. Sir Parker straight ahead. He has a first down. Williami Maumau made the tackle, a junior out of Honolulu and a player from the South Sea island of Tonga. And his last name, Maumau, means destroy, which is kind of nice for a defensive lineman.
Now, your alma mater about 5 years ago had the Tongan Chiefs grandson playing for him for the Wolfpack.
That's absolutely
in Raleigh.
right.
And he is in line to become the chief of Tonga, which means that NC State football player will one day be the chief. And of course, Maumau will be one of his underlings.
And actually 2 players in this game. Sinisi Haimuli, offensive lineman for Texas A&M, also from Tonga. Here's a throw and first down complete. Inside the 40 to the 39-yard line, Dante Hawkins on the catch.
Boy, I want to tell you something. First of all, start with the quarterback. What a great play by Stewart. Under pressure, guy hanging on his shoulder and release a perfect pass. All right, now go from the end zone. Now watch this. The pressure comes from both outsides. Spin moves by the outside guys. Jones comes in, gets the pressure. Now watch this. Boom, hanging on his shoulder. He still delivers the strike to Hawkins. Now, Hawkins did a nice job of driving him off and then coming back and making the reception.
So first down at the 39 of Colorado. Something going early on in the second half for A&M. What a catch. Albert Connell inside the 30 to the 29. He's close to another first down. Marcus Washington was right there with him. But you saw the difference you have when you got a receiver who is 6'3" and 191 pounds. And it looks like Connell may have a cramp.
Cramp or a hamstring problem, trying to stretch out the hamstring, so maybe he won't get that record, needs one more for the record. But you know, you mentioned how big he is, and Marcus Washington's a big cornerback at 6'2", 210. That was a pretty good confrontation right there, and great concentration by Connell to make the catch.
And it is a first down, so the change will move. The ball resting on the 29-yard line. Hardiman and Parker in the backfield. Sir Parker trying to bounce outside, the spin to the inside allows him to gain about 1.5 yards, 2 yards.
Terry, I'm a little bit surprised that the running game has not had more success for Texas A&M. Normally, when you have the type of passing day that the Aggies have had, that'll pretty much soften things up in the middle, and eventually the running game will start to go, but it hasn't yet.
Troy Davis, Iowa State with the win. At home against Missouri. Well, that's a good one. Oklahoma in a battle. 2nd and 9. Hardiman, the lone setback. The quick drop to Oliver, incomplete. He couldn't hold on at the 21-yard line.
Took his eyes off of it to locate the linebacker and the safety, and by just taking his eyes off for that split second, lost the handle on the ball. Toughest thing to do when you run that quick slant is to concentrate just on the ball, because normally you know you're going to take a hit.
Now the drop by Oliver, haven't seen many of those today. Stewart having a career day, 18 out of 25 with 214 yards so far. 12 of those though on Albert Connell.
Connell back in too.
3rd and 9. Stewart scrambling under pressure. The ball's on the turf. And the Buffaloes have it at the 33-yard line. The turnovers have been numerous, and they have killed Texas A&M. Rashidi Barnes came up with a loose football.
Boy, Rashidi Barnes came on the backside. The toughest thing for a quarterback is to get that field, know where he's coming from. Never had any clue that he was there. He's just ready to release the ball when Barnes hit him.
That was Fred Jones, the redshirt freshman who caused the fumble. But Timmy, we saw it on the opening kickoff. Fumbled by Texas A&M. And the 3rd one of the game, and this one a costly one, because they were really moving the football.
I don't think the fans are surprised by it at all. I mean, it's something that has really plagued A&M all year.
Tripped up at the 33. So he fell ahead for 1 yard. Edward Jasper, the senior out of Troop, Texas, on the tackle. Florida State up 10. That's a good one going on in Tallahassee. Ohio State too much for Notre Dame after the win over Texas a week ago. And the Wolverines rolling at this point. 3 receivers set. Detmer on the run. Under pressure, flips it out to Herschel Troutman up to the 39-yard line, but there's a flag on the play. It comes in late. Great. Parents fled Vietnam right before the fall of Saigon in '75. And a kid who had some tough times growing up.
We have ineligible downfield by Colorado. Decline, 3rd down.
But he came here to Texas A&M, and the coaches kind of doubted him at first. Didn't know if he really had the talent to play on this level. Was 238 pounds when Phil Bennett became the defensive coordinator. Said, I want you down to 215, 216. He got down to that. In fact, he was down to about 208, now at about 213. But he is everywhere on the football field, has a nose for where the action is. And Timmy, even though he's not that big, here's a man who may have a future.
I don't think there's any question about it, Terry. You talked about he had some tough times growing up. He also was a tough character in a tough
Will
neighborhood.
accept the penalty. The ineligible receiver downfield will be accepted. It will replay 2nd down from the previous spot.
Still talking about the penalty, but you know, when Wynn came in, he talked about, you know, he was a tough character. And I think you could almost say, hey, he was a guy that was causing some problems as a teenager. He came to college. He's fallen in well here. He's just a model student and a model player. defensive coordinator Phil Bennett and Wynn got very, very close. He goes over to Bennett's house and has dinner. I mean, it's just a great relationship. He's a terrific kid. He's the kind of kid you'd like to be around all the time.
Leading tackler last year for the Aggies. First time a freshman's ever done that. Here's a quick pass out to Phil Savoy, still on his feet. Now he loses the football. And the Aggies come up with it at the 30-yard line. May have been Edward Jasper who came up with it as Savoy lost it. And it was Jasper who came up with the football.
Boy, how many times have you seen a receiver like Savoy trying to fight to get extra yardage, and what happens is the ball becomes very vulnerable. Here he is, he spins off 2 tacklers, tries to get a little bit more, and then gets stripped from behind. Now the ball's loose. Look at all the red jerseys trying to get there. Here comes Jasper. Bingo. A&M's got it, and for the first time, A&M now gets a break. They get the turnover, and with it comes great field position for Stewart.
Jasper recovered, but guess who knocked it loose? That Wynn coming in late on the tackle on Phil Savoy. So the Aggies take over at the 29. Eric Bernard now in the backfield. Brandon Stewart on first down. To the air. Over the middle, complete to Connell. Down to the 14-yard line. And a first down for the Aggies. Connell having a huge day for Texas A&M. For more on him, let's go down to Lewis Johnson.
Guys, my, how things changed just a few moments ago down here on the Aggie sideline. Brandon Stewart and Albert Connell seem to be having a few words. Connell saying, hey, you got to hold on to the ball, Stewart. And now they're back out there. Turnover has turned over this sideline. They're reinvigorated.
Yeah, and Connell's got the record now with 13 catches today.
Ties the record set over 30 years ago. First down at the 12. Hardeman with some tough running inside the 10.
Boy, he almost bounced outside. Could he have kept his feet for one more step? It was wide open.
DeAndre Tiki Hardeman, the sophomore out of Galena Park, Texas, from North Shore High School.
I'll tell you, Hardeman is somebody to watch, too. In his only start last year, Hardeman racked up 130 yards and 26 carries. He had 2 touchdowns last week. The guy can run, and he's got size. He's 230 pounds.
#1 running back in the state of Texas coming out of high school. 2nd and 8 at the 10-yard line. They give it to Tiki again. Not going to happen. Right at the line of scrimmage. Matt Russell got there first.
Boy, what a great collision down there, too. Mouthpiece flying, chin strap came off.
Good man to induce that, too, Matt Russell.
I mean to tell you, watch this. First of all, here comes the ball carrier. Hardeman takes the ball. Now watch when the collision's made. You're going to see mouthpieces flying, chin straps. All right, here's the collision. Boom, here it comes. Now watch the mouthpiece come flying out. Chin strap goes flying over the top. This is getting fun now. Look, Matt Russell right in the middle of it.
Russell, a free spirit. And that's being conservative in describing him that way. Stewart on the run. Gets it out to his back. Bernard out of the backfield inside the 5 and down to the 4-yard line. He has to get to
here, but let me just show you this one time. They were 5 times inside the 20 against Southwest Louisiana. 2 turnovers. Time expired another time. They have really struggled down close to the goal line.
4th and 1. Texas A&M 2 out of 4 and 4th down conversions on the year. You've got Mark Broyles, Tiki Hardeman in the backfield. The long count for Stewart. Back to throw. Incomplete.
He was open.
Broyles out of the backfield. And Stewart throws it a little bit out of his reach. Are you surprised they went to the air?
No, actually, it was a terrific call. I think what happened was Brandon Stewart was a little bit too anxious and released it too early before he was set. Broyles was wide open. The touchdown is there. They just didn't connect. I think Stewart released it too early. Umpire took a pretty good lick. He's a little bit shaken up. That's probably the toughest spot for an official as the umpire. He's sitting back there with the linebackers. That's Bob Holliday. He'll go out a little bit. Now you watch this. Here comes 33 right here. He's going to go out this way. All right, let it roll. He goes right by the defensive end. He's open. I mean, all you have to do is get the ball to him. He's open, and that's a touchdown. Not a well-thrown ball, and that's unusual for Brandon Stewart. Brandon Stewart released a little bit early. I know he had pressure coming after him, but he still had another step or two where he could have set, thrown, and just watched him run into the end zone. Bob Holliday appears to be all right, but again, that's the toughest spot for a linebacker. He's checking to see if there's any blood on his forehead, or for an umpire. He's back there with the linebackers.
Tough spot for anybody to be in.
Sometimes feels like a linebacker.
Goes back to that red zone graphic you talked about a moment ago, though. It's one of those struggles inside that area.
They do struggle down there.
There's Shel Troutman across the 5 out to the 6-yard line, led by his big fullback, and a little bit of room for Colorado. That win on the tackle. And if you're Texas A&M right now, especially at here with the home crowd to get them back into it, and you give that up, you go for it on 4th down and you don't get it, but an important stand here defensively. They had an impressive one to start the second half, and this one will be as well. You look at the numbers on Detmer and Stewart. Troutman trying to get outside. Can't turn the corner, wrapped up at the 7-yard line.
By Wynn.
Well, Monday night, Deion Sanders, the Cowboys head to the city of brotherly love. They take on the Philadelphia Eagles. They're sibling rivals in the NFC East on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. That's Monday live at 9 Eastern, right here on ABC. The Cowboys trying to turn it around, and the Eagles with Ricky Waters trying to keep it going.
Tied for first right now in the East with the Washington Redskins. The Eagles are. They had beaten Washington in the first game of the year. Cowboys needing a win so badly, it's unbelievable. Already talking about successors to Barry Switzer.
It's amazing, isn't it? 3rd and 6, big 3rd down play here. Complete the change, Kitty's got some room. The first down and more. Dragged out of bounds at the 25-yard line by Andre Williams, the senior out of Sherman, Texas, but enough for the first down and a gain of 18.
Boy, that ball's well thrown, and again, you put 2 receivers to one side. Watch this now. All right, now stop it right here. He's driving this defender deep. He's playing soft. This guy will come right here underneath and be open. Watch this. Boom. I mean, that's a tough play to stop. And then the next time he could drag it all the way across, come off his hip, and actually, like a basketball screen, make the connection.
With a young secondary, if they're going to play some man-to-man coverage back there, you got to get pressure on the quarterback. Here's Shel Troutman out to the 27-yard line. That win again made the tackle. Well, the baseball season winding down.
Baltimore with that win clinches the wild card in the American League East. They go in as the representative of the East in the wild card.
AL West will be the Rangers for the first time ever. And look at the Dodgers clinching the NL West.
It's going to be interesting. Baltimore, Cleveland, Texas, and the Yankees. Those guys have battled all year.
2nd and 8, play action. Detmer on the run. Ray Caruth at the 47-yard line. Did he make the catch? Yeah, what a catch. Keeping his feet in bounds, going down to his knees and making the catch. And one thing that you look for in a wideout coming back to the football, Timmy.
Can you feel it, though, Terry? Can you feel the wind going out of the stands, going out of the team right now? They didn't score on 4th and 1 inside the 5. Then Colorado comes back, a couple big plays, and all of a sudden this stadium, one of the great places in all of college football, sounds like a library.
Not a whole lot going on in the stands right now. Detmer on first down gives to Troutman. Cutting back inside, as a flag on the play as he gets up to the 48.
You know, it's amazing to me. This is going to be another penalty, I believe, against Colorado for holding. And that this is a problem, that it was so bad that guy right there, Rick Neuheisel, brought officials to practice. Said, all right, guys, we're bringing the striped shirts to you. We're going to practice with them. We're going to try to correct some of these things, and we're going to play football fundamentally sound and not make mistakes.
On the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
8th penalty of the day for the Buffaloes, which tells you one thing.
Yeah,
no
officials are coming back to practice.
They'll be back this week in Boulder. You're right. But the other thing is, you cannot simulate game action, game speed, and the decisions that you have to make during the game.
Good point. Spoken from a man who was on a national championship team.
And made many a mistake in practice and in the game. So it's 1st and 21 after the penalty. Oh, he turns around right into a defensive end, but gets it out to the tight end. Tennyson McCarty with a catch, but what a play by Coy Detmer. When he turned around, he was looking right at Keith Mitchell. And that's a tough sight for a quarterback.
You know, they say things in Koy Detmer's mind are almost in slow motion the way he watches things develop. He sees them so clearly. Well, I'll tell you, there is nothing slow motion about this, because Detmer on the play action turns and he sees the pressure coming and releases it before he's ready, but has the talent to throw in the air, sidearm, and still make the completion. He's special.
Mitchell was right there, the leader in sacks in the Southwest Conference a year ago. Now flags on the play.
You know, it looked like Andrew Welch jumped a little bit, kind of flinched, and all of a sudden it was drawn to the official's attention by Keith Mitchell. He said, hey, look, wait a minute, stop it right
ball,
there.
False start on the offense, 5 yards, repeat second down.
You see? So here's the deal now. Colorado not only has to worry about the striped shirts, but they got to worry about Keith Mitchell making calls now too, because he's like a striped shirt. He stopped the game to tell the official, hey, wait a minute, they jumped, they moved.
Yeah, the flag wasn't thrown until he actually pointed it out.
Yeah.
Now 1 away from double digits in terms of penalties. There's Mitchell, a senior out of Garland, Texas. 6'3", 235 pounds, and awfully quick. Sure is. Detmer with a lot of time stepping up. Has Kidd inside A&M territory. Drives the DB back inside the 40 to the 39, a gain of 25.
Well, let me tell you something. Andre Williams is the nickelback, number 26 for Texas A&M. So they come in with the nickel situation. They try to get some extra coverage. So Kidd runs inside and then takes him outside and makes the catch. Now you watch this. First of all, stop it right here. All right, here comes your guy. He's playing. He's going to give him this fake and come back out, and the DB's going to bite on it. That's your nickelback. Roll it. Boom, there it is. Now go outside. He bit on the inside, came back wide open.
The young secondary at Texas A&M. 5 sophomores in that 2 deep. Troutman, good gain across the 35 and down to about the 33-yard line. Warwick Holdman made the stop.
You know, there used to be, before they changed the rules in favor of the offense, where you could use that sideline a lot better than you can now. But they moved the hash marks in years ago to make the passing game and get some more offense back into the game of football so you could get some higher scores. They've done that effectively, certainly as exciting, but now defensive backs don't have the help of that sideline like they used to. They've got to cover more ground. So a guy gives you an in move like that, you have to take it, boom, he goes outside, he's got the completion.
And you've got to recruit great speed at the corners if you're going to compete with those offenses in college football these days. Detmer under pressure. Incomplete, and there's a flag, and it brings up 2nd and 18 at the 47-yard line. Penalty stalling the drive of Colorado on the run, and down goes Detmer. Keith Mitchell from the backside on the sack. Third leading tackler on this team. And the MVP in the Alamo Bowl a year ago, he's got great speed, and he finally gets to the quarterback.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that's a great call, too, there by Phil Bennett, the defensive coordinator. It was almost like they were in a zone, 3 deep, and they came in a zone blitz. Now, when you do that, obviously, you're giving up one area because you're bringing in one of your cover guys, your linebacker, Mitchell. But he got the sack, and now brings up a critical 3rd down situation for both clubs.
First sack of the afternoon by Texas A&M, but 3rd and long, 3rd and about 20 for the Buffaloes. Detmer stepping up, floats it out there, up for grabs, and picked off. At the 11-yard line, that's Andre Williams with the pick. Hey, Terry, you take your chances as a quarterback because it's 3rd and long anyway. You throw it up in the air, and now it backs up Texas A&M.
And I'll tell you something. This shows me something because, again, it's the nickelback 26 that we just picked on a little while ago for giving up a pass. Now watch this. He's got him inside out. They've got him bracketed. The ball comes over top. Boom. There's 26, Andre Williams. Now he's saying, I've got it. This is Dion. But the bad news is his knee hit the ground.
Sports brought to you by the Nude Station. Some of the scenes from the campus. Aggie Land. Beautiful campus.
And a great town. Great college town. They love their football. Love their food. Tom's Barbecue. Wings and more. Tried them all.
Knew you'd get that on there. The Aggies on 1st down, almost picked off. Torrey Elton Davis had it in his hand. And actually a pretty good play by Hawkins to make contact and make sure he didn't catch that ball. Well, 21-7, and you look at this game so far, Tim, missed opportunities by the Aggies, turnovers, really the story of the game.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about it. When you look at the statistics, Terry, you say, wait a minute, Texas A&M won this thing. More time of possession, more offensive plays, but too many mistakes.
Second down just outside the 10. A lot of time, now the time goes away.
Yeah, but the
And the ball's
loose.
on the ground,
And Colorado
has it.
Oh,
Story of the game, and the story continues.
4 turnovers now. They put it on the ground 4 times, and again, I know it's an overused statement that I like to tell people, but when you make the field this short for the offense, it's like running downhill. Colorado now with a huge advantage. Again, it's just a kid trying to make as much as he can out of a play. Watch Brandon Stewart step up already. He says, oh, I feel pressure, but I'm going to still throw it. So he cocks it. Now the backside pressure collapses down to him, and there's no shot. The ball's exposed. There's no way to pull it back in.
Sean Jarney came up with the football, and now it's inside the 10-yard line. So 4 fumbles, the 5th sack of the afternoon, and first and goal at the 8-yard line. The option to the near side. Detmer to the 5. There's a flag on the play. And it's early, but at this point in the season, you expect them to be further along in their development. You cannot make those mistakes and win a big game. And again, Henry bounces off tacklers inside the 15 to the 14. That win on the stop again.
Now that's a big break for A&M, the holding call. But now the defense has to capitalize, because if Colorado scores here, I'm telling you, it's a tough, tall order for A&M to come back and win this ball game. They're still within reach right now, but if they don't stop Colorado here, it's Katie bar the door.
R.C. Slocum has to feel fortunate to only be down 2 touchdowns with the 4 fumbles and where they've occurred today. Detmer steps up, throws, and almost picked off by Wynn. That Wynn not only had it, but he had a touchdown if he could hold on to it. If he holds on to that ball, he's got 6. And we only have a moment. Let's go up to John Saunders for an update from New York.
Terry, UCLA has to find a way to stop Chris Howard if they have a chance against Michigan today. This is 3rd touchdown run of the game, and Michigan right now is rolling 28-3. You want to talk about big days? How about Troy Davis of Iowa State against Missouri? 4 touchdowns and 378 yards, 3rd best in history. Terry.
378 yards.
Tell you what, that keeps him right smack near the top of the Heisman Trophy race.
Detmer under pressure, throws it out incomplete. Henry was there, but Coy Detmer had no time to get that ball off.
Warwick Holdman coming hard. Almost a big mistake by Detmer just to throw that ball away like that.
So A&M will take over. Don't forget, next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, another great lineup of regional action. Penn State, Ohio State, numbers 3 and 4 go at it. Nebraska, Kansas State, the rest of your lineup. Make sure you check the local listings for the game on your ABC station. And the game's available on pay-per-view. That's next Saturday. 32-yard attempt. Jason Leslie. Barefooted kicker on. Up. And just inside, right upright. 32-yard field goal by Leslie. And the Buffaloes up 24-7. Minute 29 left in the 3rd. In total defense, the wrecking crew getting it done in the 90s. Well, it was this year when Quentin Coriat made hits like this. 1991. The Aggie defense yielded an NCAA low 222.4 yards per game, led by Quentin Coriat. It was a heck of a year.
See, now you threw a curveball in there. I thought you were confused. You said it's this year. I thought you were going to say it was this defense. Then you said this year, and it popped up 1991, and Quentin made that hit.
The drama, very important.
I know you're delivering that. And you do string it out better than most.
Thank you very much. Jason Leslie. Tell you what, come November, December, I don't want to put a shoe in a sock on. The feel of the football, but tougher than I. Eric Bernard back out to about the 20-yard line. The Aggies will start their next drive from there. Now better than 70,000 here at Kyle Field, College Station, Texas. 124 left in the third. Colorado leading 24-7. Terry Gannon, Tim Brandt, and Lewis Johnson on a gorgeous afternoon for football here in Texas. And it has really been all Colorado since the opening kickoff. Texas A&M fumbled the opening kick on the first play from scrimmage, the run by Ray Caruth to the end zone. And then the turnovers, the 4 fumbles by Texas A&M, really the story of this ball game. And another penalty now on the field.
Holding by the receiving team will go half the distance from the end of the run. First down.
Now, Colorado with all the penalty problems today, but mistakes and penalties certainly prevalent for R.C. Slocum's club, too.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Penalties have certainly been more on Colorado's side, over 100 yards today, but the turnovers and mistakes at A&M have just killed them.
A lot of production out of the offense, though. Brandon Stewart, 20 out of 29. 238 yards and a touchdown. 13 catches by Albert Connell for 147 yards. That ties an A&M record set, 31 years ago. To the air, to Connell, outside the 40 to the 42, and actually it's the tight end, Derek Spiller, this time. And what a nice job holding on to the football. But another flag on the play inside the 10.
Boy, I'll tell you something. This offense can really put some points on the board. The right hand of your screen is where we're looking. He's the tight end. He just kind of is locked on with the linebacker, just runs it right down the middle of the seam, and they put it over, but they'll have to bring it back because another penalty. I will tell you this, 624 total yards last week. This offense can move the football.
Holding on the offense, half the distance, repeat first down.
Well, the balance was the key last week when they beat North Texas. They had 312 yards in the air, 312 yards on the ground. This week, most of it's been in the air, Timmy.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the biggest difference. They have not been able to get the running game going here this afternoon. But that's the first time we've seen him go to the tight end. Derek Spiller, he only had 3 receptions coming into the game. That was a very successful play. Other than the penalty.
Less than 20 yards rushing on the afternoon for the Aggies. 238 in the air. It's not the balance that RC has talked about.
No, I'm surprised we haven't seen Dante Hall in the backfield at all, but he doesn't know all the offense yet.
This is Sir Parker out of the backfield, gets outside, can't stay in bounds. He had a lot of green in front of him if he could have. Ryan Black ran him out.
He has terrific speed. They say he runs a 4.40. Had 100 yards against BYU, 116 last week. He is explosive. He averages 95 yards a game. Not that big, only 185 pounds. Boy, Pittsburgh really, really struggling this year. And Johnny Majors come back to Pittsburgh to try to restore the roar with the Panthers, but boy, not getting it done.
Went for Northwestern, too. There's Aaron Oliver with the catch. Just shy of the 20-yard line. And that's where the first down marker is as well. Clemson, a big win in the ACC over Wake. And Purdue stopping the Wolfpack.
Yeah, NC State having a lot of problems, too. Coach O'Kane trying to get things back to order there, but they suffered that loss the very first week to Georgia Tech after Hurricane Fran. Really never have recovered. Navy losing a tough one today. The Naval Academy had been unbeaten going into the game against Boston College.
South Carolina having a tough time, too. Here's Spiller over the middle, another big catch. This time, no flags on the ground. That's a first down. Out to the 37-yard line, a gain of 16.
See, now I have to believe, Terry, that that's going to help Texas A&M. Now, of course, the clock becomes a factor here as we're running out of time in the third period, and they need 3 scores, but they haven't used the tight end. Now they use the tight end, take some of the pressure off Albert Connell, and he's starting to spread things around a little bit offensively.
So it's first down at the 37. 3 receivers. Hardiman in the backfield. Quick throw, out, underthrown. Hawkins the intended receiver, and coverage by Elton Davis.
One of those situations that the coaches were telling us about yesterday with Brandon Stewart. He's reading the defenses a lot more, and he's checking off into the right cover or the right plays more often. That time, obviously, he was checking off into something he saw. As you look at the bench, we were just talking about Cannell, who's out of the game, and He had a cramp earlier. He obviously has a problem now that they're working on, and so now they're going to.
The tradition here is something great. Leckler on the punt. Nunez from his 20. Can't bring it back at all. Maybe a yard. A punt of 43 yards. And Nunez down right about the 20-yard line.
Well, if you're R.C. Slocum, then he now realizes something has to happen here in a hurry to turn this ball game around. His club right now in trouble, going to 1-3. I mean, here you've got 14:45 remaining in the ball game. You're down 24-7. He's running out of minutes, and so the defense now has to step up. Somebody like Wynn or somebody got to force a turnover, but something dramatic has to happen to get A&M back in this ball game. Now, if you're Newhouse, you're just saying, hey, my team's got to stop making mistakes. We have to melt the clock and we get out of here. And our record improves to 3-1.
So 1st and 10 from the 20. Complete. Wrapped up right about the line of scrimmage. Marcus Stiggers, the freshman out of Dallas, on the reception. Will step away for a moment. Go to John Saunders.
Time now for the Burger King College Football Play of the Day, and it's in the North Carolina-Florida State game. Thad Busby drops back to pass, looks left, right, then just throws it up for grabs. Trey Bly, who has a couple of interceptions in this game, comes up with it, but then he coughs it up right there as he's hit. Todd Fordham recovers and sets up Warwick Dunn from 11 yards out for the touchdown. It's just a 10-0 game. Mark.
Defensive struggle that we expected in Tallahassee. Great job for Detmer. They're throwing, and this one's overthrown and almost intercepted. Out at the 44-yard line, Shun Horn almost caught up with that ball.
You know, Coy Detmer saying it's my fault. He thought he read the blitz, which in fact they had on, but it wasn't an aggressive blitz. I mean, Wynn came but got caught in limbo, never really did get the pressure on Detmer that you thought he would. Detmer just overthrew the ball.
Brandon Mitchell was there too. And Timmy, at this point in the ball game, you talk about Texas A&M having to be a little more aggressive, making a big play. This is a young defense. So while they have to do that right now down 24-7, Coy Detmer thinking that he could make them pay with a big play. And they take chances. Here comes the blitz again. Nobody there. James Kidd as close to that ball as anyone was going to get, but he was a good 10 yards, 15 yards away. So the defensive pressure making Colorado throw it quickly, and it brings up 4th and 12. A&M to get it back.
A&M still looking for a big play to make this thing turn around a little bit. They got a good defensive stand, and Colorado didn't get to melt much clock.
Dante Hall back at his own 45. Peach, the punter, picks it up off the ground but gets it away. Hall back to his own 34. The inside move and up to the 44-yard line. Colorado lucky to get that ball off. And the Aggies will start from their own 44-yard line with 13:39 left in this one. 45-yard line. Hardiman and Parker in the backfield. Brandon Stewart a good day through the air. But the turnovers have really come back to haunt them. And they trail at 24-7. Time to get things done quickly if they're going to come back in this one.
Colorado comes with a blitz.
Out of the shotgun, incomplete. And that is Albert Connell, the intended receiver. He was out with cramps a couple times throughout the game. Well, tonight on ABC, an all-new second Noah leads into the season premiere of Coach and the premiere of Common Law. Then everyone's talking about Tuesday's preview of Relativity. Find out why when an all-new episode of Relativity airs tonight on ABC. This one complete for a first down if they give him the forward progress. Connell with another catch. Well, we saw him go out of the ball game twice, Timmy. He had the cramps. Now he's back in, and they go right back to him.
Actually, Terry, we saw him take him off the field into the locker room during the timeout. Now watch, see how he runs, top of your screen. Comes off soft, pushes him off, then comes back. He does that well. You know who he looks like Art Monk when he does that. You know, where he drives the receiver off and then comes back. Art used to do that very well. Connell does it well. What a day he's having.
And Connell, a big target at 6'3", 190 pounds. His 14th catch for 157 yards. That's more catches the single game than any Aggie wide receiver ever. They go back to him. He can't hang on.
That's a season. That is a season for most guys. And here again, he was open, and Stewart delivered the ball late.
He had 18 catches coming into this game.
Because they've been passing so much, Terry, they've got nickel backs in there, so you know the safety's going to help him. But look, he's open here. You got to hit him now before the safety comes over, and there comes the safety, Black, and knocks him out of bounds. Black's just flying around. He hit Stewart on a blitz 2 plays ago. Now he hits Connell and knocks him out of bounds.
Former walk-on who almost quit a couple of years
Here
ago.
he comes on the blitz again.
The shotgun Stewart. To Connell, incomplete. One-on-one coverage on this side of the field, as now Colorado puts a couple of DBs over on Albert Connell.
We've talked about the story of the game being turnovers and penalties. This is the rest of the story. 3rd down and 10. Texas A&M has been in that situation all day. Puts a lot of pressure on the receivers, a lot of pressure on Stewart.
You see the new school record set by Connell. 3rd and 10 for the Aggies now. A lot of time for Stewart. Dante Hopkins complete near a first down. We'll see where they mark it.
Did not get enough for the first, I don't think. Yeah, they did. They're going to give him the mark.
They mark it at the 34, and that's where he needed to get. So I'm sure there'll be a measurement. Dalton Simmons on the coverage.
Looks like he has enough, Terry, but even if he doesn't, Texas A&M had to go for it, or has to go for it, if he doesn't get it. It's good, Mark. His forward progress took him up there. He's going to be right at the sticks. I'm going to tell you this, Stewart's big time. Stewart's going to play on the next level on Sunday afternoon. He is an NFL-type quarterback.
He's got a gun, doesn't he?
Well, because he left Tennessee before the year was complete, his freshman year, playing behind Peyton Manning, he loses a year of eligibility. Consequently, he's concerned, or was concerned, that the NFL won't have long enough to look at him, or he won't have enough time to develop for the NFL. But I think he's a big-time quarterback. His arm is alive. He's very smart. He's got tremendous size. He's a prototype quarterback. He'll play in the NFL.
He would have stayed at Tennessee the entire year.
Right.
He would have retained another year of eligibility. Say, well, why don't you just stay? Well, if you're 18, 19 years old, you're unhappy, you're on the road, you're in a different environment, you just want to get home. And now he is back in his home state. 2 years of eligibility. That pass over the middle, the intended receiver never looked for it. Oliver was there. And Ryan Black, the man who got a hand on it, the defensive back, strong safety for Colorado, but Oliver never looked back at the quarterback.
It's a very young football team, Texas A&M, too. Only 11 seniors on the A&M roster, and one of the youngest teams in the nation. Running backs, well, they've got all freshmen and sophomores. Only one senior on the offensive line, and of course, Connell.
283 yards in the air for Stewart. Brings it back. Flag is thrown as it's complete to Hawkins. Still up. And about 8 tacklers trying to bring him down at the 20-yard line. But a flag is thrown back at the 40-yard line. Most likely this one's coming back.
Yeah, so many big plays like this all day have been called back because of penalties.
Stewart's reaction, not a positive one.
No, anytime you see a flag in that area, you know it's thrown in the area of holding. And it is against Texas A&M, holding. Okay, now I want you to watch Calvin Collins. He is a senior in the middle. He was a guard last year. Now, it's just a takedown from behind. And when you tackle a guy, you're going to get called for holding.
On the offense, 10 yards to the spot of the fall. Repeat second down.
Good form on the takedown, though.
You know, it's a guy that's just trying to do his job. He's 6'3", he's 300 pounds. He's trying to protect his quarterback, Brandon Stewart. The game is on the line. It's getting late. It's in the 4th quarter. He's not as fresh as he was. He's carrying a lot of weight, and so you start playing with your upper body instead of your feet and your legs, and you start grabbing people.
You talk about a 90s player, Collins. He's got his own homepage on the World Wide Web. Not even around when you and I were in college. This one batted down.
Almost intercepted by Greg Jones.
Yes, Greg Jones. All 6'4" of them. And almost hung on to that thing. You know, Greg Jones, the defensive end, his coordinator, A.J. Kristoff, was at Alabama, and he compares him favorably to Derek Thomas.
He reminds me of Derek Thomas.
In a lot of ways, doesn't
he? He really does. He's a good kid, too. He graduated in August. He's got a Bachelor of Science in Marketing already. He's doing some grad school work.
3rd and a whole bunch, about 27. Stewart to the air, deep. Broken up. Rusga, the free safety, got a hand on it. Connell, the intended receiver. And let's step away, get an update, on the Wisconsin Badgers from John Saunders in New York. John?
Terry, they're creeping back against Penn State. Ron Dane already with a touchdown run. Look here, should have been stopped right there. Then 3 more guys get their hands on him. He still scores the touchdown. 12 yards on the run. Wisconsin within a field goal, and they have the ball.
Things getting interesting. The punt off the side of the foot of Shane Leckler. This one's going to roll dead at the 29-yard line. Only 22 yards on the punt. And the Buffaloes will take over, leading 24-7. This gets Athletic the one to wear for every sport. 12:06. Left as the Buffaloes take over just inside their own 30-yard line. And the crowd coming to life. London Henry looking for room outside. He's not going to get there. The wrap up at the line of scrimmage. Keith Mitchell got there first. And Tim, look at the last 2 series. This Aggie defense has really come alive. They're swarming to the football. A lot of activity up front.
Yeah, but you have to wonder now if it's too little too late. Now, the Aggie defense really has done a pretty good job all day. It's been the turnovers which made the field short and put them against the wall. I mean, really put them in bad situations. But they're under 12 minutes now, and nothing dramatic has happened to turn this ball game. I mean, they haven't had the turnover. They haven't done something, haven't put it in the end zone where they could really get some momentum and make this a ball game. Right now, it's all Colorado. And, you know, you have to wonder if there's enough time left, even if something did happen now for A&M.
2nd and 9 at the 30. Detmer to throw. Complete. This is Ryan Nunez at the 34-yard line. The youngster with the completion. Detmer on fire this afternoon, playing awfully well. And, you know, he is back in his home state where he's a star in high school. His father, Sonny, a legendary coach in high school in Texas. He was planning to be here to see his son play in person for the first time, but the game rained out, Timmy, last night. They have to play it today. He is not here, but Coy's mother, Betty, and sister, Lori, in the stands. And we're going to check in with Lewis Johnson in a moment to go have a word from them. Detmer hitting his 9th different receiver on the day after that Nunez catch. This time the flip with a tailback out to the 37-yard line. Let's go down to Lewis Johnson right now. Lewis?
Thanks, guys. You know, it was probably so amazing that lightning would strike and ruin his chance to see his son play for the first time in collegiate football in person. But you were able to come, Betty, and I got to ask you, what in the world was it like to have 2 big-time football players, throwers in your house? I mean, were these guys throwing plates? What were they doing at home when they were kids?
Well, they were just playing, just like normal kids. But I guess they're throwing a little more than a normal kid, but they had a lot of fun.
It must have been really wild. Lori, what was it like growing up with your brothers there at home with all the things they've been doing, especially now in football?
It's great. I love having them around. They're still geeks, but I love them. They're good quarterbacks, and we're proud.
Mom, you know, you were telling me, let's catch this play. Terry, let's catch this next play, and then we'll come back.
She says they're still geeks. I love that.
Well, it's a sister.
Yeah. You ought to see the guys throw the passes at her.
Dante Hall back inside his own sport. The Aggies demonstrating that they don't concede a thing. Anybody in Colorado when it comes to getting a little time in on the slopes. The ski simulator. Mount Aggie, as they call it. And a little skateboarding going on here.
Only problem with that simulator, you don't get a whole lot of powder.
No, it's tough when you fall, too. Pass complete out to Connell. His 15th catch of the afternoon.
What a great day. He's having a career day. Most guys don't get that in a year.
Torrey Elton Davis on the stop, but they're having a heck of a time trying to stop Albert Connell from doing anything.
You know, we talked to Coy's mom and his sister, and Coy got married not too long ago. He's married to former Katie Kelly.
Speaking of skiing.
Oh, yeah, what a skier.
And we will visit with them right after this play. This one incomplete. Connell, the intended receiver again. Back down to Lewis.
Yeah, we got to finish this up, guys. Now, I've got to ask you, being a mom sitting up there in the stands watching, you've got to remember last year that Coy had his knee torn up against the Aggies. A few years before that, Ty with double separated shoulders. Is it hard to watch these guys do their thing?
Yeah, it is more and more. But when they were younger, I thought they were miracle kids and they weren't going to ever get hurt. But but they're still holding up real good.
Terry?
Real good.
Stewart on the roll, throws incomplete. Hawkins can't hold on.
Pass is broken up by number 7, Rudolph Simmons.
And Lewis, one final word from the Detmer family.
All right, one last question. You're a grandma now.
Oh, yes, I am.
Yeah, you've got a little boy coming up the ranks. You think he's going to be another quarterback also?
Well, of course.
It just runs in the family, huh?
It does, it does.
Wait, look in that camera and rub it into your husband's face. He wants to be here, and you got on TV, and he didn't.
Sorry, Sonny, but you know how it is.
Thanks a lot, Betty. Thanks, Lori.
All right, Lewis. Talking about Coy Jr., who was born not too long ago.
Has to be a quarterback. Nunez on the run, fielding the punt, and out of bounds at the 47-yard line of Texas A&M. 32-yard punt, 8-yard return. Colorado with the ball once again. Our director, a better director than he is a basketball player, too.
Yeah, but I can't tell you how glad we are to have him along.
Tried out that new rec center next door yesterday and went down to defeat for the first time this year, Timmy. Gain of 3 on first down.
I think that guy hit the winning basket right over after you went for the steal and missed.
Well, look at what Wisconsin has done. Tied it up at 23-22 left. Penn State, the number 3 team in the country. They've got Ohio State next week on ABC.
Boy, Joe Paterno has had trouble with Wisconsin.
Has never beaten Wisconsin.
That's trouble.
That is the definition of trouble. Troutman with the carry. Edward Jasper wrapped them up. Going after win number 700. Nebraska got that earlier. More importantly, though, trying to remain unbeaten and keep it rolling in the Big Ten. Now 8-12 and counting in this one.
And Colorado in control. You know, bye weeks have really been good for Colorado. They've won 10 straight games following byes, and they're coming off one now. Haven't lost on the road following a bye in 33 years. And Rick Neuheisel has never lost on the road.
Trying to tie the school record of 8 consecutive road wins. Detmer flushed out of the pocket, throws on the run, and it's caught at the 32, then dropped. And it's ruled incomplete. Chris Anderson, the intended receiver, he had it for a moment.
Boy, give Sean Horn a lot of credit. He came through just as a cleanup guy and really laid a hit on him. It looked like it was going to be complete. He actually came up with the ball. I thought it was an interception for a second, but it touched the ground. So the defense, as you mentioned, comes up one more time here in the second half with a big stop.
Really have played well in the second half. The fumble inside the 15 is what led to the score.
I'll tell you this, Texas A&M, if they lose this ball game, that's the best 1-3 club in the country.
You're right. It's a heck of a statement. This is a team that lost in the upset to Southwestern Louisiana. BYU as well as perhaps now here to Colorado. Dante Hall drops it, gets it back at the 14-yard line, a punt of 34 yards. Your local cable operator on pay-per-view. Stewart, this one's dropped at the 22. Dante Hawkins had it for a moment.
You know, as well as the passing game has gone for A&M today, they really have never gotten the running game going. They have 32 yards running for the entire game and only 6 yards rushing in the second half. I mean, look at this. That is amazing to me. And if you look at those rush yards, only 6 of those in the second half. That
and the turnovers really tell the story. 2nd and 10. Stewart to throw. Has time, complete over the middle. Elwood Connell again with a catch. Wrapped up at the 27-yard line or thereabouts, and he has a first down. Tackle made by Marcus Washington. If time permits, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report. Scores and highlights from across the country. That's following the game if time permits. Connell with 16 catches. A record day. Not only a career high, but a record for an Aggie receiver. Stewart can run. Has room, now loses the football, though. And they may still have it. I'm not sure Colorado had possession.
No, they never did, and that's going to be a huge break for A&M. They're going to get the ball down near the 42, I believe.
Not only do they get the ball back, but you're right, they gain the extra yards I do believe. Now the officials are going to talk about it, though. It was knocked out of bounds by Steve Roska, but he never had possession.
It's going to be the Stabler rule. They're going to take it back to where he fumbled.
The ball will be put in place where the fumble occurred.
Yep.
The ball will be put in place where the fumble occurred.
Stabler and Dave
Forward
Casper.
fumble goes back to the point of the fumble. We had no possession after the fumble.
Yeah, see, they call that the Stabler rule.
Yep.
And the reason being, of course, was the great fumble by Stabler when he actually threw it ahead, as you mentioned, to Casper for the big score. And they say, well, anybody can throw it away like that. Well, you can tell here it wasn't obviously on purpose. He dropped it and then actually kicked it with his thigh. And since there never was a possession here, he never had control of it. Roska went out of bounds. They take it back to where the ball was actually lost.
In any case, it's the first down for the Aggies there. At the 39, Stewart to throw. Guess who again? Connell having an unbelievable day.
This is amazing.
I mean, it's one thing to break the record, but Tim, this happens time after time, and he's getting open against that secondary every play.
You know, if you're Colorado's defense, you got to say, hey, look, they're going to Connell. Let's guard him. We'll triple team him, double team him, do something. He's got 17 catches, almost 200 yards.
And he gets a break. He's on the sidelines, at least for one play. Parker in the backfield. Here's Stewart. A lot of time over the middle and caught by Spiller, the tight end. Gain of about 8. Derek Spiller with another catch. He came into the game with 3 catches, and now he gets popped on the way back to the huddle. So Stewart doing some work against this secondary of Colorado.
Now, we've got to check the record books. We've got to look this up and see what the record is for receptions in a game. Penn State back on top by a field goal.
Here comes Sir Parker to the near side. Breaks the tackle down to the 23-yard line, and they'll move the sticks again.
A&M believing they're still in this thing, Terry. 6:21 to play. Still needing 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
23-20. The Nittany Lions on top. Minute 23 left. So after allowing Wisconsin to come back to tie it at 20, they go ahead again. 6:11 and counting here. Stewart to the outside, plants, throws to the end zone, incomplete. Oliver was there. It looked like he was tangled up. And the crowd wants a flag. Not one around, though. David Wheeler was the guy he was tangled up with.
A&M still trying to fight back here and still believing they're in the football game. I'm enamored by the 17 catches of Connell, wondering what the record is. Well, the record is 17 catches. So he has tied the record, the NCAA record, for catches in a game. 17 catches in a game. One more, he becomes the all-time reception guy in the NCAA history.
13 was the A&M record. And he broke that some time ago. Stewart's still up. This one in and out of the hands of Connell as he tries to break the record. He couldn't hold on. Hannibal Navies was in the backfield pressuring Brandon Stewart. You talk about this secondary, Timmy, of Colorado. A lot of secondaries and teams come up with nicknames for themselves. Well, they did so this year. They call themselves the Dog Soldiers. And he took it from the Cheyenne Nation. Well, they didn't mean for it to be offensive in any way, but it may have been taken that way. And some Native Americans, they met with some groups, ended up changing the name to Buffalo Elite. Rick Neuhausel says no intentions to insult anyone or to offend anyone at all, as Dante Hawkins has the catch, maybe just short of a first down. Marcus Washington on the stop.
He also did not get out of bounds, so the clock continues to move.
But just to follow up one more time, Neuhausel saying we never intended to borrow the name that was so sacred to their culture, and they've changed the name after meeting with some Native American groups this past week.
So they now call themselves
the Buffalo Elite. And flags are down on the field.
It's going to be a timeout called.
And we'll take a timeout as well. 5:22 left, 24-7 here.
Before that 4th and 1 inside the 5, they failed to get that.
Quarles and Parker out of the eye now. Oliver in motion. Parker straight ahead, should have a first down.
He's close, he got it. Got it by about a yard.
Led by his fullback, Mark Broyles, the sophomore out of Tyler, Texas.
You know, we talked about that 17 being the NCAA record. I'm not sure of that. We got to get back to the book here.
13 is the school record. When you look at the Florida State score, 13-0.
That really did turn out to be a defensive battle, didn't it?
Florida State's struggling offensively. They're not sure what they want to do, I think. They've gone back to that no huddle, and a lot of talent, a lot of weapons. And as they said on ESPN this morning, maybe not enough footballs.
Yeah, I saw that. That's one of their touchdowns today. You're right. One of their touchdowns today was actually set up by a North Carolina fumble down deep
after the interception.
Right.
Yeah. Animal Navies on the stop inside the 10.
Clock's still moving now. Under 5 minutes to play. A&M has to get a sense of urgency here. They've got to pick up the pace a little bit. They're wasting too much time getting in and out of huddles.
2nd and 7 at the 9. Bernard in the backfield. This one to the end zone and almost picked off. Simmons had a hand on it, and if he would have turned around, might have had a shot at interception.
Boy, I tell you what, A&M really does struggle down here inside the 20. We told you earlier that against Southwest Louisiana, they were inside the 25 times. They came away with 2 turnovers. Time expired another time, so they did capitalize 2 out of 5 times, but that's not the kind of production that you want once you're down deep like this.
R.C. Slocum, I guess 2 highlights of this game that he can point to, feel good about. Albert Connell and Brandon Stewart, too. 335 yards in the air. 30 out of 53. Little swing pass. Bernard is just crushed after hauling it in. Hannibal Navies, what a perfect spot for a linebacker. The sophomore out of El Sereno, California, and a straight on look at a tailback trying to gain possession of the football.
Another talented sophomore. Take a look at this. He actually takes his eye off the ball just for a second. The ball is delivered a little bit behind him. It ends up on his shoulder. Now look at this. Boom. Oh, that's a great hit. Actually a little bit in front of him, but he hesitated just long enough for Navies to come in and just tag him.
Kyle Bryant on to try the field goal. Crowd didn't like the decision.
That's okay. Yeah, but they still need 2 touchdowns and a field goal any way you look at it. So get the field goal here.
30-yard attempt. And it is good.
That's a good call by R.C. Slocum, because now they still need 2 touchdowns to get this thing into overtime.
Smoky afternoon here in College Station. The cannon going off after the field goal. But you're right, 3:46 left. And they get the field goal. Now you need the 2 touchdowns as you trail by 14. Aggie fan.
Sure, and you are going to have people in the stands saying, oh, we need points. We got to get a touchdown. Well, R.C. Slocum's looking at the numbers. He knows the multiples. He knows they need 2 touchdowns and a field goal to either get this thing into overtime or win it with a 2-point conversion. And so they went for the field goal now because they had a situation where it made sense.
How many times has a home crowd not wanted you to go for it on 4th down? Ever in the history of college football? Never a popular decision when you choose not to go for it at home. Now look at the new turf this year. Here at Kyle Field, had AstroTurf, the artificial surface, until this year, and this is brand new. It's has natural drainage, and they say it'll drain about 5-6 inches an hour. All sand underneath that.
You know, Terry, I've been sitting here. I've got this NCAA book here, and I'm looking at 17 receptions by our guy Connell. Now that's a new school record, obviously, here at Texas A&M. And then you go to the NCAA record. We thought that was 17-2. And then I'm checking it here, and it says Randy Gatewood of UNLV had 23 catches in a game. And so that's what Connell has to get to date to set the NCAA record.
Time to get going, Albert.
Any way you look at it, Connell is having one heck of a day.
.346 left in this one. Ryan off the tee, and this one's the onside kick. The Aggies have it back.
Oh, but hold on here. Did it go 10 yards? That's got to be the question. Now, they're saying it is A&M football. I'd like to have another look at that. Did it go 10? I guess it doesn't matter because the receiving team had already touched it.
If
That's
they
a
touch
turnover.
it doesn't matter.
That's
Toya
right.
Jones came up with it. Let's take a look.
Now, I don't think this ball goes 10, but watch. Colorado touches it right there. All right, that's a free ball. That is a free ball because he touched it, whether it goes 10 yards or not. And they get the ball back. Hold on here, folks.
Brody Hefner, one of the men up front, a backup tight end, touched it before it went 10. And there's Jones who came up with it. So it's 24-10, 3:46 left. Stewart having a great day as well. 31 out of 54 for 331 yards. 3 receivers set. Throws out complete across midfield. Hardiman with a catch and brings it to the 46. He's about a yard and a half shy of the first down.
Oh, Hardiman just ran over the cornerback. Oh, my.
You see the Wolverine final over UCLA. And that's Dalton Simmons, the cornerback who is down and shaken up.
Watch this. You talk about a guy putting his head down and running over a DB. Here's the catch. He sees him coming, just squares up on him. Boom! That's a good old-fashioned slobber knocker right there. I mean, that is a hit. That is football. And you have to remember now, Hardiman is 230 pounds.
Dalton Simmons goes about 190. And a good sign for the Buffaloes. And Dalton, he's up and walking off. He will feel that for a while, though. You talk about a good old-fashioned football hit. Just listen to this hit. So you want to play college football, huh?
If you do, you better wear a mouthpiece and strap it on. Stewart now with 32 completions. That's an A&M record as well.
So he ties the A&M record for completions. Connell has already set the record for an Aggie receiver. Going deep to Albert Connell this time and just off his fingertips. Well, they got one-on-one coverage once again. And just overthrown. The Nittany Lions hang on by a field goal against the Badgers.
Joe Paterno beats Wisconsin for the first time.
Moves to 5-0, undefeated, and sets up the showdown with Ohio State next week. Number 3, number 4 go at it. Stewart on the run. And his receiver, Aaron Oliver, got tied up. Couldn't get to the football.
That's all right. Unlike previous downs, they've had 9 third down situations where they had to get 9 or more yards on third. On this down, they only needed 1, so they can always come back on 4th down and 1 here and try to get that first. A lot better situation. So I think really he threw that ball away when he saw his receiver tied up.
So they send in the tight end Spiller. A little confusion as to what they want to do, though.
He might have to take a timeout here.
Plenty on the time clock, though. The play clock at 13 and counting, and actually that seems like it's too much. A lot of time went off, and they do call a timeout on 4th and 1. And we'll check some scores while they break on the field. Nebraska coming back after being shut out with the big win. Iowa State. Look at Troy Davis's numbers. 3rd best ever in Division I. Oklahoma going down to defeat team. They might not be favored in another game. They're 0-3. It's going to take an upset to win one.
Yeah, I agree. You got some problems there. Pretty good move by
Texas, Virginia, by the way, on ESPN tonight.
Pretty good move by Stewart to take a time out there. Not only was there confusion, but they had 12 guys on the field and he didn't want to get another flag. They could have moved it back out of 4th and 1. Put them in a situation where they had 4th and long. Sometimes you feel like you need 12 men to beat Colorado.
Jake Plummer with 1-yard TD run and William State leading. Syracuse with a huge score on Virginia Tech.
West Virginia out early on Maryland, 10-0.
The shootout out west in OT. You and I haven't seen an overtime game this year so far.
No, haven't even been close, really.
Wyoming, watch out for them. San Diego State later on this year, but they could be undefeated at that point. Stewart keeps it himself. It's across the 45, should have the first down. Brandon Stewart, good size for a QB, too. 6'3", 214. And a junior, 2 years remaining here at Texas A&M.
Talking about not having an overtime, some of the blowouts we had early on, I felt like we were working Monday Night Football. Hasn't that been a crazy year?
Really has. And even the Eagles. They play the Cowboys, and they're playing so well, but... And down goes Stewart at the 45-yard line. Greg Jones got there. Jones, number 8 on the all-time list, with 18.5 sacks coming into this game, and another one to that total. And the 6th sack of the afternoon for the Buffaloes.
Clock continues to move, though, and A&M's just running out of time.
Well, 52-21, Virginia Tech being walloped in the 4th quarter. Good win for Northwestern, too. 2nd and about 14. Stewart throws over the middle, incomplete. Aaron Oliver, again the intended receiver, but it did not look like he was hooked up very well with Stewart, looking the other way.
And for the 10th time in this ball game, the 10th time they're going to be faced with 3rd down and more than 9. This is what they have left. Coming up next, of course, Oklahoma State. Then things really get tough back-to-back. They've got Kansas and Texas in successive weeks.
Texas at home, though, which is a key. This one to Hawkins, incomplete. In between the safety and the cornerback, and the ball just a little bit overthrown.
You know, it's a long shot for A&M to get back in this thing. They trail by 2 touchdowns with very little time left, 2:30. But it's down to this last play. I mean, if they don't get the 1st down here, it's over. They don't even have a long shot chance after this. And the crowd knows it. Listen to him.
Stewart. Complete, but short of the 1st down. Connell with the catch, but they had to get to the 34-yard line, and that ball rests about the 37. And it looks like Albert, who's had problem with cramps all afternoon, looks like they're back. So the Buffalo defense comes up when they need to with a big play.
What an afternoon he's had, though. What is that, 18 now? 18 catches?
18 catches.
Wow.
Well, you're looking at a man who had a great afternoon. The Chevrolet Most Valuable Players of the game, Albert Connell of Texas A&M and Coy Detmer of Colorado. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. A Chevrolet tradition for more than a quarter of a century. Connell with 18 catches, 208 yards on the afternoon. And Coy Detmer, 16 out of 27, 246 yards, a couple of touchdowns.
You know, there's another star that we should mention as well. You're talking about that guy right there, Coy Detmer, what an afternoon he had. And, of course, the Brave and outstanding performance made by Albert Connell, who they're helping off the field. But at the same time, the guy who was throwing all those passes to Connell, Brandon Stewart, 33 completions today. Both, that's an A&M record, 356 yards. He had 60 attempts, that's a record. 356 yards is 2nd in A&M history. He had a banner day as well.
Well, we built it as a battle of the quarterbacks, and it was. And then Henry for a couple of yards straight ahead. Coming into the game, Timmy, the 2 quarterbacks, 1-2 in terms of total offense in the Big 12, and leading the 2 offenses that are the top passing offenses in the Big 12, too. So a lot of explosive weapons on each side, and they didn't disappoint today.
You look at his numbers. Yeah, you look at his numbers. Completions is a record. Attempts is a record. Yardage is a record here at A&M. That's a strong quarterback, too. We told you he's 6'3", 214 pounds, and will probably play in the NFL. He squats 450 pounds. He bench presses 330 pounds. And, of course, you know, as he looks at these records, usually you set those records when you're trailing in ball games, and so he's probably not going to be happy with the records because normally you lose when you have those numbers.
Henry caught up in the backfield, may have lost a couple. Run down by Warwick Holdman first, but you look at those 2 quarterbacks, and take me through both of them right now. I mean, Stewart, a little bit higher rated coming out of high school, but both great quarterbacks in the state of Texas.
Right.
has the year at Tennessee, comes back here, seems very comfortable in this offense. Of course, Koy Detmer getting a chance. Coming into this year, only had 6 starts, all the injuries. Now a chance to shine.
Yeah, and he's got the talent physically. Although, you know, he has his rebuilt knee, but he's got the talent physically and really has an NFL mind. And that's going to help him make it to the next level. Stewart, we talked about his size, his arm, and all that. That's going to get him there. 2 outstanding quarterbacks.
Rochelle Troutman, he'll lose a couple as well. At the 34-yard line, Keith Mitchell running him down. And A&M will call a timeout with 37 seconds left in this game. So Rick Neuheisel's club comes back after the loss to Michigan. Really a disappointment. And that was a game that had so much hype. The rematch of the Hail Mary pass a couple of years ago, and they lose that one, but certainly not out of the national championship picture at this point.
No, and that's a good point. You know, when we talked to Rick earlier in the week, he said there was a lot of emphasis on the game being a national championship type game, and it was. But it doesn't take anybody out of the national championship. Now that Nebraska has lost, it's going to be difficult for anybody to get through college football this year undefeated when you look at the schedules. Now, you look at Wyoming. You like Wyoming because of their schedule, what they have left, and it's a pretty solid ball club. But realistically, you look at the teams that have been there. I mean, here's Nebraska trying to three-peat. They lose. Now, the gate is wide open. Of course, the Florida schools are back in there.
Florida State.
Now that Florida State has beaten North Carolina today, they move on. Their next big event is not until the end of the year when they go against
we got Miami, you got Florida. Those 2 teams on their schedule.
Right.
And so you're right. I think Florida State and Florida in the driver's seat right now. But if you're Colorado, after Nebraska lost, you certainly, with 1 loss, are not out of the picture yet. And who would have imagined Nebraska losing and getting shut out against Arizona State?
If Wyoming goes on and wins the national championship, partner, after you pick them, that's the biggest pick of the year.
No one will remember. And I didn't pick them to win the national championship. Let's not go too far at this point. I just said...
Go ahead, boys. Write it up now.
They can
Terry Gannon picks them to win the national championship.
No one will remember I said that anyway. Punt of 34 yards. And the ball resting at the 31-yard line. R.C. Slocum going to 1-3. Obviously disappointed. And this is the first Big 12 game for his club and Colorado. But opening the year, the loss to BYU, then Southwestern Louisiana, the win against North Texas. This would have been a big one for him against Rick Neuheisel's club. Whistles blow, and they stop play. 24 seconds left as some of the faithful here at Kyle Field start to head home.
Yeah, but if you look at that score and the time remaining, there's still an awful lot of people here in this stadium.
Just starting to head home right now.
They love their football.
Now Colorado calls the timeout, and I'm not sure
to get a win. R.C. Slocum, one of our favorite coaches, who does a great job down here. He's going to walk away 1-3, but these are 2 pretty good teams, pretty good matchup today.
You know what, though, Tim? Too many mistakes.
That's on both sides.
On both sides. To beat quality teams. Obviously, the fumbles, the turnovers by Texas A&M. But the penalties by Colorado, you're not going to beat the top 10 teams with that many penalties and mistakes. This one overthrown. Barry Johnson, the walk-on from Bay City, Texas.
Right, they're getting the most out of the game. And it is a very, very young football team. We mentioned that A&M is the youngest team in the Big 12. A lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores and juniors, and not very many seniors. And consequently, they've got to learn as they go along. And that could be part of the reason for a lot of the mistakes.
Last play of the game. Stewart to the end zone. Everybody's down there. Broken up, incomplete. And there's a flag. How fitting is that on the final play from scrimmage that they would throw a flag back near the line of scrimmage? So hold on for one moment.
The offense was not set on the play. Declined. That's the game.
And so that is the end of the game. Rick Neuheisel and R.C. Slocum heading off. Neuheisel's club a winner, 24-10 over the Aggies of Texas A&M. For Lewis Johnson and Tim Brown, I'm Terry Gannon. So long from College Station.